more Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the Employee Pricing Plus sales event?
Anyone can get you employee pricing, but at Hoblet, it's all about the plus that you can only get here. Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on brand new 2025 heavy-duty Ram 2500 and 3500s. We have over 500 new Rams available, so your new Ram is waiting at Hoblet.
Well, how do you like the new heavy-duty trucks?
I love it. I took the new Ram 2500 with the high-output diesel and 8-speed transmission to Tahoe last weekend, and I have to say, I've not had this much fun driving a new truck in a long time. I've been driving diesels for 25 years, and this is easily the most fun, most powerful, and most responsive truck so far.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
13,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 2500 and 3500 Laramie after 4,000 factory rebates and 9,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 2,500 select inventory bonus cash and $500 on the job upfit. Must show eligible upfit. Aid with this net savings. Sample VIN 525043. See dealer for details.
Hello, I'm Frank Conklin with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Costs are still rising, although at lower rates. The May Consumer Price Index reading came in at 2.4%, which was milder than expected by economists. Tariff fears seem to be subsiding. The original concern was severe economic distress caused by the trade war that hasn't materialized. Consumer sentiment also stabilized in May, but consumers still expect price increases over the next year. Why does consumer sentiment matter? Because a scared consumer doesn't spend, and that can create economic issues as consumer spending is a staple of our economy. Scaring the consumer into inaction can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. The framework of a trade deal with China appears to have been reached, but not finalized quite yet. Tariffs on Chinese goods of up to 55% are likely, with a 10% tariff on U.S. goods in return. China will return to exporting rare earth materials needed for batteries, and the U.S. will reopen its universities to Chinese students. Is this going to reduce the trade imbalance that led to this trade war? How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Mosaic Wealth, member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at sacktownsports.com and the Sacktown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sacktown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
Sorry, Jay. I know it's Friday. We got a holiday weekend. We got a lot going on. Hope you're well, Jay.
Yeah, I'm all right, man. Today's a little difficult. I had a friend pass and just went to the viewing. Sorry. And it's interesting because I have something. Life throws twists at you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I literally walk in. Well, I'm standing outside of the funeral home and walk in. And the guy is like, hey, what's up, man? He's like, are you Jay from the Drive Guys? Yeah. Dude, I listen to you all the time.
Awesome.
Literally all the time. Like, oh, okay. And it was a little odd because the setting, right?
Yeah.
But huge fan, having a conversation. And owner of the building was owner of the funeral service. Of the funeral building and processions. Will hold processions over my friend. And so you just never know. You just never know what life is going to throw at you, Whitey.
Yes. Well, listen, let's see if we can.
He got a big fan of you, too.
Really?
Yeah, he hated Kyle Draper. No, I kid, but I think his name was Ramsey. I should triple check that. He gave me his business card. Give him proper shout out.
Okay.
Dr. Anthony Ramsey Wallace. Shouts out to you for taking care of my fam, man.
Yes.
Salute to you, sir.
Let's see if we can't get somebody to come in for you today. We can work that out.
Oh, no, we're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine.
I mean, that's a heavy load, I know.
Yeah, but it is
got that
life.
in mind, and then we're up here. Hey, what about the Kings?
Yeah.
Whitey has a joke. It's like, shut up.
No. We're good, man. We're 100%.
All right, you let us
fine.
know. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, let's go, brother. Hit the gas pedal, the petrol.
I know.
But I had to give him a shout out because I told him I would.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
I said I would, man,
glad
because you're taking care of the family.
Yeah. Well, this is very trivial compared to all that, but I have to push back on something here on the text line. I was just doing the crossover with Alan Stiles, and we were talking about somebody not having much leverage. And I said, they're over a barrel. Have you ever heard that phrase? They're over
Say that one more time?
They're over a barrel.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that. Yeah.
So Alan looked at me like, what? I said, over a barrel. He goes, I've never heard that phrase. I said, yeah. And then I said, that's like a couple days ago. In fact, last night, I said to my wife, Sheena's going out to lunch today. I said, oh, you're probably going to have pheasant under glass. And she said, what?
No, I've never heard that.
Okay, that's like a really fancy, like pheasant under glass is a real fancy deal. So anyway, from the 209,
like
Whitey,
the top, like where you go
it's
to
a pheasant, and then you have a glass dome
that
really
you pull off. Dope.
Whitey, nobody born in the last 100 years has heard either of those things. That's not true. You've heard of over
the barrel for sure.
Come on.
Yeah. Who said that?
209 said that.
Well, we'll leave it there. Shouts out to the 209.
So with that, we're underway on this Friday.
They hating on you already?
I'm just taking a cheap shot. I don't consider that hating. It's not true hating, but it's someone taking a cheap shot.
Whitey, I just thank you for being, so old.
Yeah, they hating on you.
Over a barrel that's a legitimate. People say that all the time.
I still heard that today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not something I'm trotting out from 1967 or something.
No.
Come on.
Now, pheasant under a glass?
Pheasant under glass is a really.
That might be, you might be.
I will say,
1920-ish.
My wife, she was asking me today, what was that thing you said?
Prohibition. Yeah,
might be. What? But I wasn't around then.
First of all, how many people still eat pheasant? In a restaurant, in a setting.
It's not as popular, I guess, but I think that's kind of an iconic when you say pheasant under glass. Ooh. So maybe
pheasant might not be a delicacy anymore.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the little
Cornish hen or something.
Yeah. It's like, is there a bigger bird somewhere?
You like duck?
It's very rich, isn't it?
Yeah, a little greasy.
Yeah. The few times I've had it, like, try this. This is duck. I've enjoyed it, but I feel bad eating it, which is dumb. I don't feel bad eating chicken, but duck, I feel, it's a ducky. I shouldn't be eating that.
I can understand where your mind goes.
Yeah, but it is good, huh?
Isn't that interesting? How you
stupid
certain things, certain animals, you're like, you're like, oh yeah, give me that.
Right.
Take that.
Right. I eat that all the time.
Tricked our mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're a dad who likes sports, or if your dad likes sports, we got a lot going on this weekend.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jay? We got these things going on. Could you score them for us? 0 to 10. 0, like pay it no mind. 10's like you gotta watch. I think I know where you're going on some of these, but that's okay.
US
that's
Open -2. Okay, I was just starting for you.
Did you see what Kyle just texted us? Speaking of the US Open,
I don't pay. I think I got Kyle blocked.
This is
let me see.
This is incredible. Typically, he okay. He is he's volunteering to call us?
No, I think that's Tom Morton.
Yeah.
Now see if it's Tom.
Right.
Now Tom could have just text me, but he probably was like, Jay's busy doing things, where he could text Draper, because Draper, he knows Draper wouldn't even be here at this point.
Right.
So he's like, let me text Draper. I can't text Whitey because he's hosting.
Yeah.
Draper probably still in the bins.
Yeah.
So
I apologize. Yeah. What happened was we just got a text. I thought it was Kyle Draper saying, hey, if you guys want me to come on today to talk about the US Open, I'll do it. And I thought, he doesn't usually do that on his day off, but it's my mistake. It's Tom Morton. I know. I was shocked. That's why I brought it up. Like, did you?
What you said is 100% accurate.
Drape's call in on his day off.
That's why I was like, what? I just glanced at that. So perhaps we'll hear from Tom Morton today, which is tremendous. Anyway, U.S. Open, Jay, you're saying negative? You're not interested.
Well, I didn't mean to jump the gates, but go ahead. You go down your route. Oh yeah, -3.
Mm-hmm.
-3.
A lot of people are going to be, hanging out. A lot of dads going to be watching the concluding rounds. How about Giants-Dodgers? Giants-Dodgers starting at 3-game set at Chavez Ravine.
How about a 6? 6. Can't stand both the teams, but it is history anytime the Dodgers and the Giants face each other.
You know what some of them are saying down there? I think even Max Muncy said that. It's like, it's not the Giants right now. It's Los Padres. That's a big rivalry down there. What really breeds a rivalry, regional proximity is a part of it. But when you're playing big games against each other for a couple years in a row, that really breeds the rivalry. So that's where that is. That is, again, it's been that way for a while because the Dodgers have had more success than the Giants. It's a one-sided rivalry, Jay. It's kind of like the Kings and the Lakers were for a while, right?
Well, is it meaning
the Giants look at it and go, yeah, it's the Dodgers. Boom, the Dodgers go, whatever.
We ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
'Cause they won championships.
Yeah.
And moved on. Yeah, probably so. Probably so. But I think there has been opportunities where the Giants have been above the Dodgers, obviously winning those 3 championships. But I think the Padres Dodgers is a little more Kings Lakers. The Giants have whooped up on the Dodgers now. You got to give them some love.
Oh, I'm giving them credit.
Yeah. And you know, I rarely do that. If any time do I do that,
right.
But
I'm a little
think the
surprised.
Giants have some ups over the Dodgers over the last 20-25 years.
Yeah, I think for the Giants, this series right now, they're right. I think, what are they, a game out? And so those 3 teams are right near the top. Dodgers at first, and the Giants and San Diego. It's closely bunched there. So the Giants have been, they lost yesterday. Their winning streak came to an end. But this is an opportunity for them to kind of, hey, Dodgers, kind of get their attention a little bit.
Well, don't worry about that. I'm expecting a sweep here.
You were just giving the Giants credit.
No, it should be a good series. We'll see. One thing you start to see about now with teams are and this happens with every team. We've seen some good teams. We've seen the Dodgers go through a slump. We've already seen, the A's go on winning streaks. Bad teams go on winning streaks. It's gonna happen. This is where you have to start to separate yourself, and it's early, but this is normally where good teams normally play winning baseball, not playing 500 ball. You even when you're playing good teams like the Giants playing the Dodgers and vice versa, you might split the series, you might lose, get a game, lose 2. Whatever normally happens now is where good teams kind of take off. They start to accelerate.
It's not really early anymore. We're still in the first half of the season, but we're in June. We're coming up on July.
Yeah, well, I don't watch baseball till July. So I mean that's kind of my green flag. But yeah, I think prior to July, I'll say you're still in the first third of your season. If you don't want to say early, then I won't say early, but I think you're still in the top half of your season.
Well, definitely the first half.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. It gets late early around here. I think Tony Guerra might have said that. Then the other thing, we got a game tonight, and then the NBA Finals, not on Sunday, but on Monday.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know if they're dodging the golf and Father's Day or what.
I could see dodging Father's Day. Shouts out to UPS Chris, giving us love.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
And to all the fathers that's listening, happy Father's Day early. We'll say it a couple more times, but no, shouts out to the fathers. Shouts out to you, Whitey, being a girl dad, just like myself. I think they dodged Father's Day. The NBA Finals, and it's going to be interesting, Whitey, when it's all said and done, to see the viewership. There hasn't been that much talk about it, but the numbers allegedly are down.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see when it's all said and done, how the viewership pans out. And it'd be interesting to see how the NBA reacts to it. Because remember, the beginning of the season, you didn't see it too much towards the end, but the beginning and middle of the season, there was a lot of talk about, viewership ratings being down in the NBA.
Well, Commissioner Silver addressed that before the last game.
Right.
He said, obviously he's spinning as much as he can for his league. He said, well, we don't look necessarily at the ratings compared to last year.
Of course you don't.
He said the games have been the highest rated in their time slots. And he also, either he or someone else pointed out correctly, might have been a VP from the league, pointing out that our money that we got from our TV contracts, we've got the money. We don't have to give any back if the ratings are down. And also, let's face it, they had to know that ratings were not going to be sky high for these two teams. So I think they were up a little bit. I just glanced at something that said ratings up a little bit for game 3, but still, not great ratings. I don't think the NBA is nervous about it. I think they know these are not going to be great ratings, but, hopefully if they can establish these brands with these young stars, maybe it'll be in the long run, maybe they'll get some things accomplished here. I don't think the league's sweating it.
No, as you said, the ink is already dried and the money's coming any way it goes.
Yeah.
Unless something catastrophic happens. So I don't think they're really worried about it, but you can't tell me that their persona, the bravado of the NBA isn't going to suffer in some form or fashion if that viewership continues to dwindle down and get a little lower. And, one thing we know about the NFL is they utilize every single day to their best ability to say, hey, look at us. And I think, baseball has kind of gotten away with the fact of, yeah, we'll stay regional. We'll make our regional money, and we're making so much money. I think they're doing what the NBA is saying they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball's kind of gotten around like, it doesn't really matter nationally. We'll take our deals, but regionally, we'll reign supreme. We'll reign king.
Yeah.
With the NBA, I think they want to scream, look at us.
Baseball backed out of their ESPN Sunday night package, and I believe I just saw that the commissioner said, yeah, well, we shouldn't have done that.
We ain't worried about it.
They'll figure something out. I think the one thing the NBA wants right now more than anything, high ratings, they love that. They're not going to get them, but they do want a long series. Every day, and all their partners want 6-7 games, because then people do make more money. They don't have to give any back if the ratings are low, but 6-7 games, everybody makes more money. So I think that's what they're open for.
Yeah, the longer it goes, the more money being made.
Some say maybe that's why, when the Lakers played the Kings in 2002, maybe they extended that series, Jay. I don't know about that.
I would say some folks are probably spot on.
I think so.
It's me. I give you the rating. Finals, I say an 8. I'm interested in it. Tonight.
Okay.
Definitely interested in it.
Yeah. So that's the highest on your board.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Can you get any lower for US Open than -3?
3 under par?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 under.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shooting it strong, big time.
I just don't know the players as much. I'm a little out of touch with it. I like the idea of, the golf, and I have it on right here because Dave turned it on. But I find that typically now on Sundays for the majors, the finals, I don't spend a lot of time on them. I know a lot of people do, and good for you. I used to be that person, but I kind of lost touch with the PGA Tour, Jay. I appreciate it, but I'm not like
not tied into
I
it.
used to be. Yeah.
When were you a high caliber, a P1 fan?
I wasn't like Tiger's my guy, but I loved watching him in his heyday. I watched.
So what about when Tiger was not there? Because you were around when Tiger.
Yeah, and I started kind of without meaning to, just kind of backing away from it a little bit.
So
yesterday we had Spawn was leading, right, and I was like, this is
JJ,
on me, but
right, was this
JJ?
JJ?
Had to look it up. I wasn't sure who that was. That's on me because I've lost touch.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you are a Tiger Woods era golf fan.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay. Pre and post, not the biggest fan.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of people like that. I think PGA I think the PGA has issues with recognizing that. And we're at the finality of what Tiger Woods being a PGA, he's always going to be a star. But as far as being a top ranked player, I think that's probably done.
Yeah.
Now, he might, who knows, go retro one time and win another tournament here or there. But I think the PGA, and hence, Drapes is not a live guy. He's like, I'm not a live guy. Are you a live guy?
I don't care so much about the packaging of it, just the policies and the politics of it, which we don't need to get into. But
sure.
It's like,
I'm out on it.
Not with that at all. But
anyway. Is it more exciting though? Like Drape said, it was an event, a concert, the DJ.
I didn't even know about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
The only crazy entertainment-based golf that I've seen is that indoor
indoor
golf
joint.
league. Yeah.
What was the name of that again?
It's a virtual golf. No, I forget. ESPN had it on Monday nights. Yeah, I don't think that really took off either.
No. Yeah. I mean, that ain't nothing but Top Golf.
But I like the
indoors.
idea of it.
Top Golf indoors.
Yeah. We have the green and then they spin it and you have a different approach.
Mini
This
putt.
is weird. Yeah.
Putt, Scandia, baby.
Yeah. So a big Father's Day weekend. I hope you have fun plans.
Where's your rankings?
US Open. I mean, for me, even though I'm not the golf fan I was, it's still a 6 for me because it's the US Open.
But you ain't watching it.
I know, but it's our national championship. Out of respect.
But you are not watching it.
To what it represents. 6.
All right.
Yeah. Giants Dodgers. That's a 9.8.
What?
Well, I mean, it's baseball. I'm
you
gonna watch
watching
baseball anyway. Yeah. I mean, the A's Royals for me is like a 7, and that's
okay.
that's way overrated, right? That's probably too high on that, but that's just me personally.
Okay.
And then the NBA Finals is solid 10.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I hear where you're going. A 6 for the U.S. Open?
It's U.S. Open, Jay.
I got
It's
you.
our national championship.
Out of respect, we're going to show us some love.
Yeah, that's life-changing stuff for whomever wins it.
That much is true. 100%.
I may not know who it is who wins it, but it's life-changing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Real quick, Jay, I know this isn't your favorite. Can we just kind of to establish where we are here, talk about these rumors, just reset some NBA rumors.
Okay.
What the rumor is, how solid it is, and how it might affect the Kings, just to kind of get a sense of where we are. Is that all right with you?
That'll work for me.
Okay. Things moving quickly on the Durant front. A real sense it's being reported in league circles that it will get done before or at the draft. Shams was on with McAfee today, said it could happen in the next few days. Also, Windhorst says Clippers are a team to watch in the Durant sweepstakes. So how about that? What are the rumors? Durant could be signed. It could be a done deal within days. How solid is that? I think it's very solid because Gambadoro is saying it could be in a few days. Gambadoro, who's in Phoenix with our sister station, and he's very well connected.
Yeah, he's tied. He's like a shoelace.
Is this
He's tied to the game.
about this rumor?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, Club Nouveau.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's too many going on.
Uh-huh.
We
you know the lead singer's name?
No, I don't.
Okay. Is there only one version of this? Because I hung out with
two.
a guy.
So there's Timex Social Club.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're originally from here.
Yes.
Right? And
Timex
then,
Social Club. I actually recorded with the guy.
You know who we have on today? Who is super tied to those guys?
Who's
Bobby
that?
Giroux.
Really?
We'll talk to him about
Okay.
it.
Yes.
He's passionate about Club Nouveau, Timex Social Club conversation. We'll talk about it.
As far as Durant goes, the teams that are being reported to be very interested right now are the Timberwolves and the Spurs and the Rockets. So obviously, if that comes to pass, that would impact the Kings a great deal.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think KD is the first domino to fall. Yeah. Next couple of days, who knows? But I think within the next week, pre-draft, he probably will be traded.
Also, we have, and I know Windhorst mentioned this a few days ago, expectation in league circles now, Giannis will not request a trade. That could change, but that's been the narrative for a few days. Maybe Giannis surveys the fallout from a summer of trades and changes his mind, but it looks like Giannis may not go anywhere. As of right now, there is no trade market because Giannis has not asked out yet.
Yeah, I don't think Giannis is going anywhere right now. The Giannis situation has been trendy and tricky all at the same time. Shams has been on Pat McAfee every single day this week. And every single day he's updating what's going on with Giannis. And Giannis has finally come out and said, hey, man, people sure do miss Woj, right? Which is a dig and a shot at Shams. Shams responds and says, we all miss Woj, but, I stick to my reporting and he defends himself, blase.
Yeah.
But what is super interesting about all of it is I'm now seeing other NBA insiders, Michael Scotto, Wendy, Stein, guys are now coming out and saying Giannis won't be traded for the short time, for a period of short time, within the short time. So that lets me know what, this year, next year, 2 years, like they're trying to cover their tail. You're being sneaky.
Right.
So you're just saying 7 years down the road,
right,
he might get traded. It's like, we told you.
Yeah.
We told you. It's like, nah. That don't work, man. I'm cool with that.
Meanwhile, league sources. Oh, by the way, how solid is that? Coming from Windhorst and Shams, I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, I think it's a wrap.
But it's just like you say, for now it's solid.
Yeah.
Next week, down the road, no one really knows. League sources continue to cite the Pelicans as a team aggressively looking to move up in the draft. I think this came from O'Connor. This is not solid. It may be true, but league sources are citing the team as one that's aggressively looking to move up. That doesn't mean they can. Most front office executives believe Ace Bailey is the target. Okay, well, I don't care what most front office executives believe. Tell me what is going on, right? So that's not that could happen, but that's not solid at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 50-50. I think Joe Dumars is a player. He wants to be
agree.
a player.
Uh-huh.
I've seen a few local people talk about they have interest in moving.
I don't doubt that they have interest.
But
yes,
can you get it done?
To go from that to some league sources say that they're going to do this. Well,
come on, Kevin O'Connor.
Who are they and how would they know? And then we also have this Miami Heat looking to upgrade. It's not a tear it down and rebuild it kind of franchise. Both Bam and Tyler Hero are not available. That's from Ira Winderman at the Sun Sentinel.
Yep,
that is book it.
Yeah.
It's a beat writer.
Yeah, and Ira's been locked in for longer than
Yes.
I've been on in the industry. I can't say that about you, but Ira's definitely been part of the Miami atmosphere.
Yeah.
For easily 20 years,
Right.
feels like, and he's covered the Miami Heat for a long time. I definitely know he's locked in. I would say 100%.
Yes. He's not quoting front office executives or league sources. He's just telling you where the Heat are. And then finally, Bovada says the Magic have the best odds of landing Jordan Poole, and the Kings have the second best odds. And just please, I'm ashamed I even read that. I'm ashamed of myself. Please don't put any stock in any Bovada odds, because, things like that come out, then someone reads it, someone posts it on X, and then people start talking, what about Jordan Poole? There is no Jordan Poole the Kings thing, Jay. It does not exist. We're better than that. What are Bovada odds anyway? Where do they come from and what do they mean?
There's somebody that's a bookmaker. There's someone back there who is educated in these types of things. Right? One of these days we're gonna have to get one of these guys on. I have a connection with a few of them through my boxing career.
Can you actually wager on those?
You can.
The Bovada odds?
Absolutely you can. It's why it's out there. They want your coin big time.
Yeah.
Right? So if you are a fool, if you believe, and this is the other part of it, we know there are not even whispers anymore. I think we already know there are conversations throughout the league that the Kings want to lock in on the point guard. And if you get a little information, Jordan Poole's out there. Okay, came from the West Coast, might be connected. They started putting 2 and 2 together, and then someone, an odds maker, let's go ahead and throw that out there.
All right, I'm not buying that, and it's not very substantial.
Nah, I'm with you.
Some quick thoughts here on the text line from the 209. Once Tiger's downfall happened, I lost interest too. I only watch tournaments that Tiger plays in. We'll watch the Masters, though. And Jeff says, guys, live golf is terrible. They play 3 rounds, wear shorts, and have disco music blaring. That's not golf. I haven't seen it. I don't intend to watch it.
I wish I could wear different shorts.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, not a fan.
I haven't seen it. I feel like, I haven't seen it enough. I feel like, when it started, I watched the tournament or a little bit of it, first 10, 15 minutes of it, or 10, 15 minutes of the program, but I don't really remember. I know Drapes hates it. Sounds like you're not a fan. Maybe we'll ask Tom Morton when we get him on here today. I'll shoot Tom a text, and I'm pretty sure Tom's probably going to see. The one thing about Tom is he's like us with baseball. He's going to support just about any form of baseball, and then we'll come around and say, but I really don't like the robotic umpires. I think that's how Tom's going to approach it.
We'll find out. But first, we'll find out what's going on here. Dodgers and Giants. When is Ohtani going to pitch? Tim Neverett, Dodgers TV and radio play-by-play guy. He joins us with more on the rivalry in a big series for the Giants next on Sacktown Sports.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our Giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com. Your one-stop Honda shop.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is Secret Clinical Dominating Extra Stinky Stress Sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure. If there's one thing we know about dads, it's that they're not easy to shop for. Enter Kohl's. They've got everything from Nike golf gear to his favorite Levi's jeans. And you can save 20% on other finds like Flex Athleisure and Izod workwear. So if you're not sure what to get Dad for Father's Day, you know where to go. Shop Kohl's now. Select styles. Offer ends June 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to Nike and Levi's. See store at Kohl's.com for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here again. Over the years, I've seen way too many timeshare exit companies pop up, take folks' money, and disappear. I just saw an ad from an exit company started by a couple of bozos that used to work for me. My advice, don't hire bozos out fire. Want out of your timeshare? I'll send you our free timeshare exit info kit explaining your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free kit. 800-329-3737. That's 800-329-3737.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
A lot of Giants fans excited. Giants have been playing well. Yeah, their winning streak came to an unfortunate close. But you got the Dodgers coming up at Chavez Ravine this weekend. Meanwhile, the Dodgers seem to be looking at the Padres more as their rival than the Giants. So what's the state of this rivalry? Nice enough to join us with more on that. Dodgers TV radio play-by-play guy, Tim Neverett. How are you today, Tim?
Good, guys. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fine. You know, we're excited. It's Friday, big holiday weekend here, and we got the Dodgers and the Giants. I wanted to ask you about that series win over San Diego because Vezina was pretty pumped after striking out the side. How big was that series win over San Diego for the Dodgers?
Yeah, that was big. I mean, they needed to win 2 out of 3 at least. Vezina is always pumped up anytime he gets a strikeout. Doesn't matter if it's spring training or June or October. But, you know, it's just another series win that the Dodgers needed to stay in first place. I think there's a lot made in the media that the Padres and Dodgers have some sort of rivalry. I think the Padres look at it that way, but the Dodgers always look at it like it's the Giants. And that's why this series this weekend is really big.
And it's super interesting because we had that conversation prior and we were talking about the Giants looking at the Dodgers in that state of form. This rivalry still has its luster, Tim. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, it's still, yeah, for sure. And this is the rivalry. It's not the Padres. I mean, no disrespect to the Padres. They just happen to be closer geographically and they've been good the last few years. But since these teams moved out west. And before that, when they were playing in New York, these two teams have been rivals for a good chunk of their franchise's existence. And I think we'll see that tonight. We're expecting sold-out crowds here at Dodger Stadium all weekend. And, we'll see some good baseball. The fact that this is a relevant rivalry in the division again because the Giants are just a game out, that makes it that much more important.
That's Tim Neverett from the Dodgers TV and radio play-by-play. I know, Tim, day-to-day you're focused on your ball club, but as you get ready for this series, what stands out about the Giants' surge to the upper reaches of the NL West these days?
Well, I think they've been getting good pitching, and tonight will be no exception with Logan Webb on the mound. He's one of the toughest guys for any hitter to face in the National League. So, he always gives the Dodgers fits, even though last year the Giants didn't win either of his starts against LA. So, but that's just kind of how it goes from year to year. I expect a great pitching matchup tonight between Yamamoto and Logan Webb. But I do think, starting pitching has a lot to do with it. I think that, Buster Posey has brought a kind of a different vibe. And I think that's been pretty welcome from the Giants players, certainly the fans, and all of baseball, because, the last few years, the Giants were just sort of, moving along. They weren't competing for the division title per se. They haven't for a couple of years. But I think it's better when they do. I like it when the Giants and Dodgers are battling each other. I think that just makes baseball better.
Joined by Tim Neverett. Tim, one of the things that we while around here still is Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts just jumping around from outfield to the infield and still does what Mookie does. What's your take on his season so far, starting at shortstop?
Well, he has shown us a difference in how he can field the baseball from last year to this year. In fact, as we speak, I'm watching him working on short hops. Working with infield Woodward. He's behind third base right now, working on it. He does this stuff every day. When you're at the ballpark early, you see all the work he's put in. And in the off season, he contacted, former Rockies shortstop Troy Tulowitzki, who at the time in his career was one of the better defensive shortstops, and worked with him. Tulowitzki's now a coach at the University of Texas. But he worked with him on shortstop play, and we can see some of that. I saw Troy play quite a bit during his day, and I see a little resemblance with the way Mookie charges the baseball and throws on the run and things like that. But he's getting the balls, especially to his left, to his glove side, more so at shortstop than he did last year. And you say, okay, why does a 6-time Gold Glover in the outfield need to move to short? Well, because he can't. I mean, he's one of the few athletes who can actually pull it off. And he wants to prove to everybody that this isn't just something he wants to do. This is something that he can do. And he's doing it exceptionally well, and still batting second in the order behind Ohtani and still producing offensively. So Mookie Betts is a lot of fun to watch. I've been with him here in LA for a long time. And prior to that, I was with him in Boston. So I've seen Mookie play an awful lot of baseball over the years, but the way that I've seen him improve at short has been remarkable.
It really is remarkable. I remember Robin Yount went from shortstop to the outfield. Jackson Merrill on the Padres, same thing. Ernie Banks, I don't remember this, but I know he went from shortstop over to first base. But to go from outfield to short, really, unprecedented. Tim Neverett with us. Tim, the amount of injuries that the starting pitchers for the Dodgers have suffered is it's hard to believe. Can you confirm for us that the Dodgers maybe they struck some kind of Faustian bargain to win last year, and that was the price of winning is all these pitchers are going to get hurt? Because nothing else makes as much sense as that.
I couldn't tell you what's going on, but I can tell you this. Some of these guys are on their way back. And again, as I told you, I'm at the ballpark now, and I'm watching Tyler Glasnow, who just threw to hitters for the first time, and just got a high five from his pitching coach, Mark Pryor. So I guess that all went well.
Good.
Blake Snell is ready to throw a bullpen here today again. He's on his way back. Shohei Ohtani, we don't know a date, but he'll be pitching at some point soon. That I can tell you. So, we're getting these guys back slowly but surely. And, when everybody's back and healthy, it's going to be at a time when the Dodgers need to make a run, and that's going to be in, August and September. And I'm really looking forward to seeing them with a fully fortified bullpen, a fully fortified starting rotation. because it's going to happen sooner than later. And, we've got Clayton Kershaw back. He's going to pitch tomorrow. His last outing in St. Louis was really, really good. So hopefully he's going to be back to a form where he's going to basically help this team out every time he goes out and takes the mound.
Look, that's a little scary, Jay. The Dodgers getting all their pitchers back. That's scary. Yeah.
Goodness. Tim, I go back with you. Sporting News Radio a long time before you even start jumping on the play-by-plays. Pittsburgh Pirates, I believe, 09 to 15, 16, something around there before you jump to the Red Sox. Andrew McCutchen, one of my favorite players, if not my favorite player. I just want to get your take because you had an opportunity to see Kutch play quite a bit over in Pittsburgh, passing Clemente, most home runs for the Pittsburgh Pirate organization. Just how much has Kutch meant to Pittsburgh and to baseball?
He's meant a ton, and he's one of my all-time favorite guys in the game too, by the way. He's just such a good dude, and every time I'm in Pittsburgh, we make time and we get together and we'll talk for a bit and catch up, and he's just such a good guy. But he's been great for the city, and what you have to remember is that he wanted to go back to Pittsburgh. He wanted to finish his career there, and right now he's hitting the fastball, maybe not like he did in 2013 when he was the National League MVP, but he's still catching up to the fastball. He's still hitting balls, out of the ballpark. He's still producing. He can still get it done. And, he's on a year-to-year thing with the Pirates, and I think they'll keep him as long as he can continue to produce. But I'll say this, I don't think anybody's ever going to wear the number 22 in Pittsburgh ever again after he's done. I think he'll be one of those guys. He'll have his number retired. He'll end up with a statue, that sort of thing, because he was also one of the key figures when the Pirates were last good, when they went to the postseason 3 years in a row in 13, 14, and 15, and helped a resurgence of Pirates baseball in Pittsburgh.
Well, Tim, we appreciate your time, and I'm sure you understand this is Giants country. We can't wish you too much luck this weekend, but we hope you personally have a wonderful weekend, and we hope to talk again soon.
Hey, it's no problem. I mean, I understand Giants country, but I guess a sliver of that's now A's country, where you guys are. But it's always been probably Giants territory up there in terms of the fan following. Get that. But this is going to be a big series, and glad you guys will be following it.
Yep. Thank you, Tim. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you guys.
Okay. I tried to get him to confess that the Dodgers sold their souls to the devil last year, and that's how they won the World Series. And the price for that is all the injuries this year. He wouldn't quite bite on that one.
No. He's a die. You can tell. Well, it's interesting. I shot Tim a text, and I'm like, we're the home of the A's now, right? He's like, oh, really? Yeah, meaning, Sacramento's here, the home of the A's. And he's like, it's like, yeah, you sure you want to talk Giants?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, Tim, we'll talk Giants. I say anytime, and he knows I hate the Red Sox. Can't stand the Red Sox. So he still teases me about the Red Sox, and he knows I hate the Dodgers. So he's like, dude, you haven't been a fan of mine since the Pirates, huh? I'm like, yeah, So me and Tim go way back, late nights.
I got a question about the A's and Sacramento, and also want to talk about the throwback homer that has baseball buzzing. So we're back with that. It's Jay and Whitey today. Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all Milwaukee power tools on massive discounts. Tons of Milwaukee batteries and bare tools for less than $100. 25% off all regular price Milwaukee pack-out boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
Now through June 22nd at Big O Tires, buy 3 tires, get 1 free on 4 select Big O brand tires. And every set is backed by our industry-leading ProTech Plus protection warranty. Installation purchase required. Disposal fees extra. Not valid with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6814. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6814. 800-575-6814. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Giants and the Dodgers, we talked about the rivalry. Max Muncy, before the Padres series, I thought he'd said, the Padres are our rivals. He actually was taking shots at the Padres. He said, quote, the Padres bring everything that is in a rivalry, but you only have one rival. That's always going to be the Giants for the Dodgers, and it's always going to be the Red Sox for the Yankees. People say the Astros and Yankees have a good rivalry. That might be true, but you don't have multiple rivals. For me, it's just one team. So I think that also might be kind of the company line with the Dodgers is like, San Diego, yeah, whatever. They like to say we're their rivals, but we don't really care about them that
ain't
much.
got no love for them.
The Giants and the Dodgers. Yeah.
It does feel kind, and that's what I said. I think it's kind of Lakerish, Laker Kings type movement, where the Kings definitely feel. Now, of course, the Warriors have cascaded up the list, but I think the Kings feel the Lakers are their rivals, where if you talk to the Lakers, they'd probably like, Celtics or it's something else. It's not the Kings.
Right.
It's not the Kings.
I disagree with Max Muncy on this. He says you don't have multiple rivals. The really good teams do have multiple rivals. When the Kings were really good, they had the rivalry with the Lakers. They had a rivalry with the Mavericks. You know, they weren't their primary rivals, but they had a rivalry. Look at the 49ers, the rivalries they have.
Oh, yeah. Packers, Cowboys.
Of course, the Rams.
Sure.
Yeah.
Rams. The team from Southwestern Canada, according to Sean King.
Yeah, so the better you are, the more legitimate rivals you have, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Yeah. You know, Jay, today I was driving in, as I do every day, and I saw on the freeway there was a billboard, and it was by sponsored by a casino, fine casino. I have no issues with the casino whatsoever. Have no issue with the A's whatsoever. But they had the clock on there, countdown to first pitch. And I don't know if you've seen those. I thought, wow.
What?
You don't see a lot of those. Yeah.
I didn't see
they've
that.
had it all season.
Really?
Yeah. And it was, 4 hours, whatever it was, countdown to the first pitch that's tonight in Kansas City. And I was looking at that and I was just thinking, man, when they decided to put those up, they must have thought that everybody in Sacramento was going to be just nuts over the A's this year.
Yeah. There's an interesting cat and mouse relationship going on with Sacramento, the A's, Oakland A's fans, West Sacramento A's fans, the city of Oakland. There is a conundrum going on, and it all starts with, the organization itself. Super interesting. It really is interesting how we are seeing this unfold. And as you said, you look around the city, you got huge fans, you see green, you see the yellow, then you go around the city and it's like there's not a trace of them. in certain areas. So
right.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. Again, I just don't think people really knew what to expect. It's basically an experiment, but I do think there was, especially based on the way tickets were being sold initially. I remember you telling us you had some friends that went in and they got their season tickets for the next 3 years. And I think there was a sense of, wow, this city's going to be all in on the A's. And again, this isn't a way of taking a, cheap shot. I've told you how I feel about the whole thing, but I'm just talking about how people thought. A lot of people thought, and a lot of people that are, backing this thought that Sacramento was going to be just head over heels for the A's, not unlike they've been for the Kings. And it just didn't happen for a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
at least not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Not homegrown. Definitely. We saw the movement with Sac Republic. Like people go head over heels for the Sac Republic. And I think it's only going to get a lot stronger now that the new stadium has been approved, and they'll get cracking and moving on that here, the rail yards. But I think it's the same feat that they're looking at if they move to Las Vegas. Now, I was talking to a friend today in Las Vegas who's in the sports industry, and he was like, "How's the A's treating you guys?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, nothing."
Right.
Really? And he's from the Bay Area.
We had Brent Rooker on today this morning, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Which we appreciate.
Shouts out there.
It's on the morning show.
Yeah, no doubt. And but it to consistently have conversations like we did with Brian Salmon and people like that, and checked in with them, and he's just like, yeah, still nothing. No one around here is really excited. We see the pump fake of allegedly they're gonna put the shovels on the ground, but we don't know if that's real or not. So they are expecting kind of a jab step, a pump fake from the A's as well out there.
Right. And they have on the 23rd. We were talking to Drapes about it yesterday. Tuesday. He might actually attend the groundbreaking, but and people aren't sure what exactly that is going to entail. There's going to be politicians and officials. And they'll be talking about how great it is. But my understanding is somebody still has to pay the construction company if they're going to build the stadium, and they got a little funding gap still. So, we mentioned they passed a measure a couple weeks ago that said, if nothing happens on this project for a certain amount of period, then it's done. A lot of people think the A's might, if they're still looking for funding as they are right now, they're going to do just enough to keep extending that. Last month they
put a deposit down.
They erected a fence. Okay, all right, they're still working on it. So that could be what they're looking at until they actually, if they ever do get enough backing financially.
That would be in typical A's fashion. That would be typical A's fashion. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's I really have no idea, and I don't think they do. I think it's a dog and pony show to still, as you talked about, phrases and catchphrases and things like that earlier, metaphors.
Now he's over a barrel.
He's more than over a barrel. It might be a few barrels. He's over. I'm not sure they know what is happening. I believe they know what they want to happen, of course, but I'm not exactly sure they know what's going on right now. And if the site, meaning the Oakland A's, where it all begins, X marks the spot, if they don't know what's going on, then how in the hell as fans are we supposed to know what's going on? And then on top of that, the city of Las Vegas seems like they don't know what's going on.
Right.
They're in a standstill, a holding pattern, waiting on what the A's organization is going to do.
And it's all about the money, and it's always been, it's a business, I know, but the actual product, the baseball, seems like it matters less and less.
Oh, yeah.
Than it used to the people that are paying for it all. Because, you used to have, and I know this is a long time ago, and there's no way it's going to be this way now, but you used to have owners of baseball teams, that was their business. Like in Cincinnati and in other places.
Shot.
Yeah. And she was a piece of work. But you would have, the owners of the team, like, this is our business is baseball.
How we
now,
make
of course,
our money.
you have corporations, and baseball's just a small part of that. So obviously they don't have the emotional connection that maybe existed in the past. But I think in a way that's understandable and it's inevitable, but I think the game's suffering. Because you got owners that I don't think there's some owners, I don't think they like baseball.
It's just basically a piece of their portfolio.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Their financial portfolio. That's interesting, Whitey. Hadn't even thought about it like that. You definitely see ownership groups from United States branching off and jumping over across the pond and grabbing soccer teams, things like that. But the way I'll say this, Chris Reliant, producer extraordinaire of the morning show, told me something. You know, Chris is a huge soccer guy. And one of the things in my years of working with CV, he's always said, American-born owners treat sports completely different than European owners or Middle Eastern owners, things like that.
In what sense?
In the form that they don't buy organizations, teams to profit. They buy teams because more or less they're fans. Now, I haven't went and done the research on those type of things. I trust what CB is saying, especially when it comes to soccer, stuff like that. Now, albeit it's probably changing. You know, I know Sheiks own a lot of the soccer teams and things like that.
Yeah.
I know like Barcelona, I believe, is owned by the government in Spain, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right in that. And so there's a different feel to that compared to private ownership here in the United States. But when you really do look at it, I think you're spot on in the form that the ownership may be changing from what we've become, what we've known, you know, over the years here in America.
Yeah, I think a more current example of that could be, you know, Mark Cuban made a ton of money, but he loved the Mavericks.
Yeah, huge.
He sold them to the guys that traded Luka.
Right.
It was like, hello, right?
I would never do that, right?
Yeah,
My dead body, right?
Uh-huh.
So it is interesting, and I think, you know, the way sports is now maneuvered in America, where, you know, owners want to not only just own the team, the stadium, but they want the space around it, the leasing of the parking lot. They want the business buildings, you know, like we've seen in Atlanta. They stepped out of the Metroplex of Atlanta and went deeper. We've seen it in Texas now with the Rangers and the Barn. People are buying teams and creating cities around the stadium. And it's super interesting because then they control everything.
Yeah.
So it is part of their portfolio more than like, you know what? I bought the Kings because I'm a fan of the Kings.
Right, right.
That's super interesting,
Yeah,
Whitey.
that's true too. And I think the Kings, to their credit, I think they did that to a degree. It used to be, we need a downtown ballpark because that's where everything's happening. And now it's, we'll put the ballpark wherever we want and we will build the downtown around it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And teams
100%.
are doing a really good job of that.
Definitely are. And they do it because they get to own everything around it. How many times have you went and seen, you know, a ballpark in the middle of the city compared to a ballpark that is in a suburb? You know, more times than not, you're in a suburb, you're like, oh yeah, it all looks the same.
Yeah.
Jamba Juice, Chipotle, like you could count on your hand what's all around it. Versus downtown, you kind of get a little ilk of the city, mom and pop. Old school bar, a tavern. You see those type of things, you know, downtown more than you see extended. Auburn Hills versus downtown Detroit.
That's where you and I really disagree. I'm not a Giants fan, but that ballpark is spectacular. And it's been a huge success story. From the old one, you know, when the Giants almost left.
Pac Bell was spectacular.
It's the same park. I'm talking about Candlestick.
I know what you're talking about.
By the way, I wanted to see what you thought of this.
Spectacular, though.
Huh?
You didn't like the stick?
Well, I have some fun memories, but that place was horrible
Because it was freezing and
it was awful.
You didn't like the tall escalators, man?
I didn't care for them. Of course, I was also there during the earthquake, and that might have
that definitely would be different.
Out there wandering around, couldn't find your car, just freezing.
But at least
cold.
you could park. You can't park nowhere at Oracle. You got to park 3 miles down the road at the wharf.
Parked for games there.
That's because you're Whitey Gleason. The average normal person has to park in Oakland.
And then you got to take BART over and take a ferry over. Do you know who Pete Crow Armstrong is on the Cubs?
Yes.
I know he's Ramsey's guy. The Cubs fell today to the Pirates 2-1 in 10 innings. But last night, Pete Crow Armstrong hit a home run, Jay. And he said, I think he's at 18 home runs now. He hit a high fastball that was 8.1 inches out of the strike zone.
Dang.
And he hit it over the fence. Deep. That's old school, right?
It is. That's going
because hitters now are so trained take everything unless it's in your hitting zone. He's wailing away.
That's Vinny Castilla-ish.
Yes.
Go get it. You like that?
In a way I do.
Okay.
I mean, intellectually, it's like, oh, well, that's not the way you're supposed to do it. But, you know, old school's like, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Manny Sanguillen, baby. Pablo Sandoval.
That's a name right there, man.
Right,
Sanguine.
right. Yeah.
I like it.
If I can hit it, I'm going to swing at it, whether it's a strike or not.
Vlad Guerrero style.
Yes.
Throw it up here and watch me do what I do.
Right. Right? Isn't that kind of the way baseball used to be? Maybe should be.
You want them to have a soft helmet and no batting gloves too, huh?
That's right. And they should be able to run over the catcher. Even if there's not a play at the plate. All right, when we come back, more on Kevin Durant and Tom Morton is going to join us. He's been caddying for Zach Polo at the U.S. Open. He's going to join us too when we come back. Drive Guys on a Friday on Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Big news. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange. And millions like you are joining our news revolution. Newsmax is now the 4th highest rated news channel, just behind CNN. Reuters says we're one of the top news brands in America. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax for shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and more. So download our free Newsmax app on your smartphone or TV and start watching. President Trump says Newsmax is truly terrific. Get the free Newsmax app and check out Newsmax shares on the stock exchange. Go to newsmaxinvest.com. That's newsmaxinvest.com. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor shall there be any sale of securities in any jurisdiction in which such an offer would be unlawful.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, tell me what's happening for the Employee Pricing Plus sales events.
Anyone can get you employee pricing, but at Hoblet, it's all about the plus. You can only get here. Save up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 crew cabs. One of the many reasons we are the #1 Ram truck dealer in California.
But why do you think Hoblet's consistently California's #1 Ram truck dealer?
You won't find a better price on the Ram truck you need. And with 500 new Rams available, no one has a better selection. Plus, being a 5th-generation family-owned dealer, you get the big city selection and savings with the small town service. And we have 7 Walter P. Chrysler Service Awards to prove it.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
16,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie after 6,000 factory rebates and 10,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,500 select inventory bonus cash, 500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. Employee pricing factored into dealer discount. 5% net savings. Sample VIN 711632. See dealer for details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
U.S. Open rolling on, and in about 10 minutes, we're going to talk to Tom Morton from Morton Golf. Tom Morton was caddying for Zach Polo, and Zach had his second round today, and Oakmont, caught him from behind, bit him a little bit, as will happen. But what an incredible experience for them both. And we'll find out more about that when Tom Morton joins us. He was, of course, caddying for Zach.
Bags.
Yeah. You got Burns and Lawrence tied at 3 under right now, Jay. That course is starting to, not so fast, drag people back towards par.
How's the weather out there? I haven't taken a look at Philly. What's the weather looking like, Whitey?
It looks warm and a little overcast.
Okay. Typical Philly.
Yeah, although I was going to say it might be getting dark, but it's not getting dark yet. No way. A little bit of overcast, but nice and warm, and I don't see any evidence of any wind.
Doesn't that explain the Philadelphia fan? Warm but overcast.
Yep.
That's Kyle Draper. He's warm, but as soon as he comes in, sometimes you get a little overcast.
Yeah.
Philadelphia fan.
He's got to have his pretzels. You got to have his pretzels for him.
Very true. Very true. You think he called that number yet?
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I'm with you. For all the fuss,
bluster.
Yeah, all that nonsense he was kicking up dust yesterday. He ain't pick up the phone.
Speaking of nonsense, we've been engaging in a lot of nonsense over the Kings and what they may or may not do. This is a fact. I don't think this is going to go anywhere. I'm hoping to head this off, nip it in the bud. Russell Westbrook declining his $3.4 million player option for next season, which will make him a free agent. There's no way, right? We're not going to hear any rumors that the Kings are pursuing Russell Westbrook, nor should we hear any talk about the Kings and Russell Westbrook, right?
You need me to pull it back out, rumors again.
I haven't heard anything, and I don't think there's anything, and I want to get out in front of them and say nothing to see here.
I believe it when I see it. I'm not sure. I think the Kings will be tied to every point guard in the offseason in some form or fashion because people will create a narrative. He stays on the West Coast, wants to play in California. Like someone will create a narrative, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Right.
You don't want it to happen, hence why you said
I just think it's a terrible fit for everybody.
Right.
I'd be surprised if he had any interest, and I don't think he would be a good fit for the Kings. So I'm already skeptical. I'm kind of, it's like a defense mechanism. I'm already getting angry about the reports of rumors when there aren't any. There better not be any rumors about this because there's so much nonsense already. Wish him the best. He, by the way, as you may have heard, he underwent surgery on his right hand last month to repair multiple ligament tears.
Oof. Been there.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. Well, not ligaments, but bone.
Yeah.
Been there.
He said he was having surgery to fix 2 breaks that happened during the season. That will, I would guess, affect your shooting. Ligament tears in your shooting hand are going to affect your shooting a little bit.
Yeah, I would think so. I like, the crazy part about Westbrook is I like what he does. I like the passion. I like the way, the bravado, the way he moves, the way he talks, the way he brings the passion to the game. I like his game. I understand why it is slowly starting to kind of separate from where the NBA is right now. He's one of them OGs that's in the game where he goes to the cup strong, really can't shoot it. We know right now a lot of people love to see the shot go in. And so his game is super interesting. I truly believe, Whitey, Russ will be a person who gets retired sooner than he should be because I think the game is not his strength right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's not even a starter.
Right.
You can't tell me Russell Westbrook's not a starter, especially when I look around the league and see who else is starting. Man, that's disrespect to Russ.
Yeah. He had a decent year, and we know, he played well against the Kings, and he is the career leader in triple doubles. I always thought, wow, this guy, when going back to when he was playing with Durant, and his shot selection's always been a little, to me, not what it should be.
Right.
And I just think, that guy's on the same team as Kevin Durant. Why is he shooting so much? I think he's selfish. I don't think he was selfish so much as he's stubborn. He was stubborn because he wanted to win, and he thought, why should I let some other bleeper take the shot? We're better off if I take the shot. I think he just believed that. I think it got to the point where as his skills started to erode a little bit, he still believed that, and it became more and more detrimental to him. The thing that I always remember about him, and I know it's not done yet, but to your point, Jay, he plays hard.
Yeah.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. One thing, if you're talking about, the slogan is a dog, man, he is a straight wolf pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could put him in front of the sled and watch him go.
Right.
Like, one thing about Russ, you never have to question if he wants to be there And if he is playing, he's healthy enough to play. If he's going to give you everything that he can, there's times you see Russ like, man, how do you keep going? He's Energizer Bunny. Certain instances, I've always admired Russ. I've always liked what he's done. I understand why people don't appreciate his game because he's just not in the form of what we appreciate now that much. Everyone's looking for the Steph Curry, the Klay Thompson, the jump shot. Now we see guys like Aaron Nesmith and things like that. They're getting getting a lot of representation throughout the league because they're shooting. And so Russ just is not that guy. He's a little different. He's like a la DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah. Yeah. The game has passed him by a little bit in the sense that he's never really been a very good 3-point shooter. 36 now, but you look at what he's done. And again, he says he's going to keep playing. So he's not done yet. 8th in NBA history in assists, 20, 30 in points all time.
That's crazy.
Ever.
He's a boss, man.
Yeah.
He's all he is missing is a championship. I think if you asked him, he'd probably say, if I had to go today, I'd be okay. But that championship, man, it's, I've been close to it a few times. He's one of the guys where he's done so much for the game. Great ambassador. He's put on for LA. He's put on for the West Coast. Never in trouble. We always talk about so many things off the court. He's been as they say, a model citizen in air quotes, been a family man, been a great father. There's nothing that you can complain about Russ. It's just some people don't like his attitude and some people don't like his play. He's just one of them dogs,
When you look at this is why I'd be really, really surprised if there's anything that seriously links him to the Kings. I'd be stunned. You look at what he could offer a team like them in terms of his experience and leadership, and you weigh that against some of the issues he had just recently his last season with shot selection, things like that. And it just, to me, it's like it's not a good fit at all for the Kings. Bless you. Thanks. Hope you keep playing. Thanks for giving us everything you've got every night that you play. But I'm preemptively shooting down anybody who tries to link him to the Kings.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm following you in the cab. No problem.
Same with Jordan Poole, too. Even though Bovada says Kings are second most likely to land Jordan Poole. No, they're not.
You ain't putting them down on the odds, little apples and oranges?
No.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
Do I sound crazy if I even slightly have interest in Jordan Poole for the Kings?
No, because I know a lot of people do, and he scores.
Yeah.
So I understand that, but
I know what you're gonna say. He doesn't play enough defense. You got to see it up front and personal when you were down that way in the Bay. I get it. But I'll tell you this. And I think we're pinpointing this, if a bridge point guard is to be had, that's a high caliber bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, that bridge has been reworked a little bit.
I'll tell you, when he was playing his very best basketball, Jordan Poole, with the
Warriors
when they won the championship in 2022, and he was a little up and down in that postseason, but when he was up, he can shoot, and also he's a really good passer.
He is.
And he hasn't either he doesn't have anyone to pass to in Washington, or he hasn't emphasized that much of his game. He can be a really good passer, but I don't think he's the pure point guard. To me, if it's like, hey, you can have Jordan Poole or Tyus Jones a million times out of a million. But we'll see.
Is it because of the pay or because of the play?
Because of the pay and mainly, just the stability. Jordan Poole is very volatile. I've seen Jordan Poole do some really good things. I've seen him do things where you go, are you okay? And I don't think the Kings are in position to bring on somebody right now who can do things where you go, bro, are you all right? So
see, I disagree. I think the Kings
I can show you clips. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't disagree with Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I think we're going to have to come to Jesus moment pretty soon here with the Kings. I think Kings fans are hoping and wishing and praying that something big is going to happen. I think we can agree on that. But the way it looks, and we've heard this, the bridge point guard, the person that get them, stability over the next couple seasons. For what? What are we stabilizing? A fact that we're still a middle tier NBA organization?
I think so. I understand your point, but I think it's just a matter of kind of trying to stabilize things so that you can, from there, establish a point at which you start to get better.
And what is Tyus Jones? And I got to be careful because Tyus Jones may be may be signed here. What is Tyus Jones going to do for the Kings that Jordan Poole's not?
He's going to be a better point guard and a better distributor.
And what is that going to do?
He's going to be more consistent. Although
I don't believe that.
Well, the fact of the matter
Tyus
is
Jones ain't bringing that to the table.
Tyus Jones last year didn't play as well as they thought he would. I mean, that's a fact. I know that.
Yeah, for sure.
He wasn't even starting. He didn't do what they thought he was going to do. But to me, he's more of a, I know what I'm going to get from him more than I do with.
He's flatline. He's more flatline than heartbeat.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'm looking for more heartbeat, more entertainment.
Well, then Jordan Poole is your guy, and so is Westbrook.
Yeah. Well, Westbrook I'm out on because of the age, but I think I'm out on the Tyus Jones types in the form of if we're stabilizing for the next whatever you want to call it for the Kings, the next era, the next look team, that does nothing for me.
What if it's short? This is what I think they would do if it's Jordan Poole or someone like Brogdon or something. They're just looking for a year or two where it's like, all right, you're taking care of that, and then we can start to
taking care of what was
just you're gonna run the offense, and we can count on you to do a professional job of running the offense. It's not gonna be an all-star, and maybe we're not gonna even win that many games, but we know that point guard is no longer like a gaping hole. We have a proficient, decent point guard. I think that's kind of what they're.
I think so too. I think so too.
But just for maybe a season or two.
Yeah, which is the gap.
Yeah.
The bridge, so to say, the connection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, I'd rather have an entertainment connection. I'd rather that bridge be a little more entertaining. And I'm not, again, Tyus Jones may be signed here in Sacramento. I'm not,
You don't have anything against
No,
Tyus
absolutely.
Jones,
at all.
Yeah.
I think just what you said, he's going to come here and he's going to be professional. I could say that about a lot of people, though. I don't think there's going to be anything extra. Maybe we're looking for, and we got to get Scott Perry on. Maybe he's looking for the Zach LaVines of the world to be extra. Maybe he's looking for Keegan Murray to put a little more, flavoring on the top and take the next step. I'm not sure. We haven't heard that. And of course, a move hasn't been made. But I'm just saying, if we're looking at it from the surface, for me, Tyus Jones does nothing without knowing where we're trying to go. I'd rather, if we are connecting a bridge, meaning a year or two, I'd rather that year or two be entertaining. Now, Jordan Poole's not my guy. I'm just using him as an example.
I understand
right?
the point.
So
yes.
I'm just looking for a little more flavor. I don't need the regular chicken noodle soup.
No, I know what you
give
mean.
Give me a little something extra in there. I'll take the gumbo. I don't want the chicken noodle soup.
Probably the best thing about Tyus Jones, and we don't know for sure it's going to be him, but the best thing about him is what he does not do. And you could phrase that either way, but he doesn't turn the ball over. So you could say he takes care of the ball.
Right.
So that's when I talk about, consistency. He's a good shooter. He's not a very good defender. He did not give the Suns what they were hoping to get from him. He signed there in a short-term deal, was hoping to prove himself, and then signed a longer-term deal. That didn't work out, so he's back in the business this offseason of looking for a short-term deal. But he does take care of the basketball, and he gives you proficient professional play at the point guard spot, which the Kings did not feel they had enough of last year after De'Aaron Fox left. So that's what he would give you. And I still think what's likely is that the Kings are going to go out and get a point guard that they can count on to be a professional NBA point guard in the short term. At the same time, I think they're going to be pursuing moving up in the draft to start accumulating assets that are going to help them down the road. We'll find out.
Yeah, I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
I'm looking for and I think that may be my analogy for the summer. I don't want the chicken noodle soup. I want the gumbo.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. We got a very special guest joining us here. We appreciate his time. PGA Director of Player Performance for Morton Golf, Tom Morton, who's had quite a weekend already. How are you, Tom?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're good. Thanks for joining us. You were caddying at the U.S. Open for Zach, huh? How did that go this weekend? I know it was a rough day for him today, but how was the experience for you and for Zach?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, as you could imagine, playing in a U.S. Open, let alone one at Oakmont, it was more than I think both of us could have imagined.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, I know you've caddied before, but this experience compared to some of the other experiences you've had caddying Is there a difference, or is it like, you know what, I'm used to it, I've done this before?
I think once you kind of tee off and you get within the ropes, so to speak, it's the same. There's no doubt about that. I would say all the other stuff that goes on kind of in and around the clubhouse and the range and the chipping area, and it certainly is different, and it feels on an elevated level.
Mm-hmm. So you had to work, right? You had to go like walk the greens and everything before the rounds and measure everything. So Zach probably put you to work, right, Tom?
He definitely did. And what I thought was funny, but more than happy to do it, is we get there and go to the locker room, and there's this giant box sitting in front of his locker, and crack it open. And he's a Ping club guy. And so crack it open. There's this big, beautiful, big staff bag that's got red, white, and blue, special for U.S. Open players. And a lot of the guys are using them this week. And he looks at me, and I'm all, what do you think? Yeah, that'd be great. And I'm like, okay, here we go.
Joined by Tom Morton. Tom, one of the interesting things that I would, if I was caddying, is just kind of what you're saying is the extras, the conversations, people that you haven't met. And I know you've met a lot of people. Have you really taken a step back? I'm trying to do that a little more myself, but taking a step back and living in the moment. Have you done that over the last couple of days?
Certainly so. And, that was a big thing. I'm telling Zach to do that. And so I better make sure I'm doing that as well.
Right.
Because I'm really hoping that he's soaking this up and gaining as much knowledge as he can, because I really believe, again, this is not going to be his last one. He is that good a player. And so, I think we did a great job of taking it all in, and we got to play practice round with Keegan Bradley. I mean, USA Ryder Cup captain, for goodness sake. So those kind of things are, just invaluable. And he was so kind with sharing great information and helping. And then also when we were during one of the practice rounds, Paul McGinley was out walking around getting some information about the course. And he stopped and talked to us for quite a while. And I mean, those are things that are just, you can't buy that sort of stuff, just invaluable to learning and to growth.
It's Tom Morton, of course, from Morton Golf, and Tom was caddying for Zach Polo last 2 days at the U.S. Open. I know Zach went to Whitney High, Rockland. I believe he's from Lincoln. Can you tell us, Tom, how you guys got to the point where you were caddying for him at the U.S. Open?
Yeah, so when he was, I think, around 12 to 13 years old, he actually came through our foundation grant program, which helps fund there's one of the things we do is help fund some kids through their golf journey. And so certainly some kids it's harder to afford it, and some that if you're really playing a lot of golf and playing in big tournaments as you get older, it's really expensive. So we help fund that. And Zach was one of those that we were helping to fund. And through the conversation, he actually didn't have a golf coach yet. And so someone suggested that I start helping him.
Of course, man. Put him under the tutelage of the Morton family, baby.
Yeah, that's the guy that built Kyle Draper's swing. I got to get him.
Well, you probably don't want to brag about that swing, don't you? That swing might be a little off. Tom, what is the one thing, I always kid the fellas, and how I kid about golf, but what is the one thing that as someone of your ilk, you're taking away from this last week? Being a part of the U.S. Open, like, what are you taking away from that?
Well, this event in particular, right? The U.S. Open, it is open for anyone to qualify. And, as I said to Zach when we got there around the range, I'm like, hey, look around. There's Scotty Scheffler. Hey, look, there's Bryson DeChambeau. There's Phil Mickelson. There's, you name the player. And I said, just, you belong here just like all of them. Right. And that is the beauty of the U.S. Open.
Were there any things that you learned when you played on tour? I'll never forget that, Tom. I'm sure you weren't. Anything you learned from that you were able to help Zach with? Anything you learned from that helped you prepare him for this event?
Yeah, I think, again, Zach, to be honest, is a far better player than I ever have been or was. He's really, really terrific. And but I think there is. I think my experience there was, maybe I didn't, even though I enjoyed the experience and had a great time, maybe I didn't, I felt like maybe I needed to get too much in my bubble and block things out because of that. And I think you can do a mixture of both, while you're on the course and preparing and that sort of stuff, but also just really enjoy everything that the experience affords. And I think we really did that this week.
Tom, I know you are you put on for Sacramento area, Northern California quite a bit. A lot of people around here know you, and if they don't, we make sure to let them know. Did you keep your eye on any of the other local golfers that might be taking part of the U.S. Open? Did you sneak over and take a peek at anybody locally that might have caught your eye?
I mean, to my recollection, not. I can't think of too many of our locals that made it this week, unless I'm missing something. But it's so hard and so difficult to do.
Yeah. What can you tell us about the course? Any surprises for you? What anybody watching on TV? Any tips on what to look for this weekend as we approach the final rounds?
I know they've talked about it a ton at length, that how difficult it is and the rough and all that sort of stuff. And much like Augusta, you can't tell how hilly it is and that sort of stuff. It is 10 times more difficult than even they're talking about. Like I've played a lot of golf. I've been a lot of places, and I can't even comprehend how hard it is. And, for like that round, that Sam Burns shot today, 65. I mean, that's like 59 at some other golf courses. It's insanely difficult. And I mean, I'm a scratch golfer, still decent player.
Sure.
I don't think I would break 90 at where they're playing it from and how they're playing it.
Well, come on, there's no trees and there's no water. How can it be so hard, Tom?
I mean, Zach today, yeah, he didn't have his best stuff, but it's the thing is he literally would miss a fairway 2 feet. Like it's not that some horrible golf shot. He misses it by 2 feet and you have no shot. Like at that point, you're hoping you can, maybe if you get lucky, make par, but you're just hoping to make a bogey. I mean, it is so difficult. I can't even comprehend.
Tom, I don't think I've ever asked a golfer or anyone associated with a golfer, when you miss the cut, do you stay for the rest of the weekend, or do you I'm going home, or what's the next couple of days look like for you guys?
Yeah, I know. I kind of looked around and I'm going to get a flight home and see if I can make it home for Father's Day. But for Zach, he as a player, he can definitely stay around the weekend and afford himself to some of the, luxuries that it is being a player at the U.S. Open. And even he can, I guess, after all the players have teed off, he can actually go use the practice facility if he wants to and whatnot, because he actually will leave Sunday evening and already had planned to do that, to head out to another tournament, another big amateur tournament on the East Coast.
Yeah. Tom, we'll let you go on this one. We appreciate your time. And I know today, Oakmont kind of catching a lot of people from behind here and grabbing them back and dragging them back towards par. But yesterday, Zach's first round, 4 over, you guys must have been thrilled with it. How amazing was that to go out 4 over in your first round at the U.S. Open?
Yeah, again, we had a great day, and I've told a couple of people this, and I will stand by it. Yesterday, I would defy there to have been 10 golfers in the field that hit it as good as Zach did yesterday. Wow. He played so great and hit it so well. That front nine, as you're saying, I mean, it's so hard. And we finished on the front nine and just had, this, even though he hit some greens, tough spots, had a couple 3 putts. And that round really could have been even part of 1 over yesterday. It was so much fun to watch and be a part of.
Tom, Whitey Live, one more question. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know how it plays out because you are a part of the tournament. Can you tell us who you think is going to win? You got to see it up close and personal.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at the leaderboard, it is, it's kind of all over the map. There's certainly some names floating around, but some that, I've heard of, but a lot of people haven't heard of. And I think at this stage, it is wide open for anyone to win this thing because, as we're saying, I mean, even JJ Spahn, he's making a ton of par putt saves, but he's even leaking oil a little bit here and there. And it just takes, just like Rory did, right? I think he had 2 doubles in the first 3 holes. I mean, that can happen so easily. So I think it's pretty wide open at this point.
Tom, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. No, you're very, very busy. We hope to see you out at Hagen Oaks soon. Thanks, Tom.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Thanks,
How about that? Yeah. Thank you, man. That's truly one of those once in a lifetime experiences.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Hence why I asked, are you soaking it all in.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never know when the next time you may be there.
Think if Zach had had a better caddy. I mean, he might, right? I mean, I don't want to say anything, but.
Somebody's listening is going to text Tom that right now.
Tom's the best. Tom has helped me a great deal with my game.
Shouts out to Zach putting it on the map. Like the fact that we have a representation at the U.S. Open, and the fact that one of the great guys, good guys of the city, of the area, was put on for golf for a long time, and his family, of course, the Morton family.
Yeah.
Tom being a part of that, man.
Yeah.
Salute to them.
Zach Polo playing in the U.S. Open yesterday and today, and then tonight from Rockland, you got Logan Webb pitching.
Yes, sir.
For the Giants.
Well,
so National Sports Spotlight.
I don't know about
Rockland.
Well, who's pitching? I mean, who's playing tonight? Shouts out to Logan Webb. Got all love for Logan Webb.
Jay, I know we still got a ways to go till football camp's open, but when we come back, I'm going to give you one of, if not my definitive sleeper team for the upcoming NFL season. And I think you're going to like him, Jay. It's next with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, the latest class of the A's Hall of Fame will be inducted before the A's play the Reds on September 13th. And what a group, including longtime A's broadcaster Monty Moore and the big three, Hudson, Mulder, and Zito. And when those guys pitch together in the A's rotation over a 5-year span, their combined records, 234 and 119. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
The cards are lining up with Sky River Casino's $130,000 weekly Baccarat tournament. Every Thursday, now through June 26th, is your chance to share in $10,000 in prizes, with a guaranteed weekly winner taking home $5,000 in prizes. Feeling lucky? Your first hand is on us. Visit skyriver.com for complete details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all dual power tools on massive discount. Batteries for less than $100. Combo kits for under $150. 20% off all regular price tough system boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9861. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9861. That's 800-575-9861. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sacktown Sports.
One of my favorite things about Fridays, and I love Fridays like you probably do, is finding out what songs Jay's going to play. Because just as he did right there, he just surprises me so often. Little Elton John, I'm still standing.
Little EJ. Walking up and down the beach.
Uh-huh. In his straw hat, looking like Connie Mack, I think, at one point. Yeah. It's a Flashback Friday, right?
It is, sir. It is.
Mm-hmm. I
Ain't
wonder
no
if
flashback without EJ.
Uh-huh. I'm just guessing here. This is not a request. I'm wondering if Jay's going to work any Beach Boys into the proceedings at all.
It was on my mind.
Huh.
You know that. Got to represent for B. Will.
Mm-hmm. And I know Monday when we were at the golf course, we lost Sly Stone, and I know Ramsey did play some Sly and the Family Stone on Monday. But I want again, not a request.
No.
I'm not in any position.
Well, what's your request? What's on your mind today?
Thank you for letting me be myself.
I got you. Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, if we get a shot at
Got
that.
you in there. I want you to sing just like that too when it comes out.
I was listening to some music show on satellite, and somebody said, it's been a tough week for rock and roll. I guess it kind of has, huh?
Yeah. It's tough. It is tough.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Bunch of Hall of Famers.
Yeah. You got rock and roll legends in their 80s.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, man. Where's time went?
Mm-hmm.
Where has time went, Mr. Gleason?
Remember when the Raiders were dominant? Speaking of how time flies.
They
could be back, Jay. They could be back.
That's your sleeper squad?
I'm starting to buy into the Raiders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, Ramsey likes that? Did you see Pete Carroll talking to reporters, which is really good at it? It's really cool. I'll tell you what, it's really cool. We're going to be really cool this year. He's talking about Ginty and Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert, pardon me, is being thunder and lightning, Jay. Thunder and lightning. Ginty the thunder, Mostert the lightning. And you got Geno. Maybe I'm putting too much stock in this, but just the whole thing of Pete Carroll bringing a sense of, I know what I'm doing as a head coach to the organization. It could have an effect similar to what we saw when Jim Harbaugh took over for the 49ers when he took over for Mike Singletary. Maybe not. The 49ers had a lot more talent, but I do think Geno is an underrated quarterback. And I think the secondary is like one of the biggest issues with the Raiders, but they can get after the quarterback a little bit. I just think the stability of having some people in there who know what they're doing, I think it's going to help, Jay. Look out. Sleeper team.
Last year, we both were on the Colts.
We were.
Didn't pan out.
They were like,
they didn't pan out. They were up and down a lot, right? I don't even remember what they finished. Let's see. What was their record?
They were hanging in the playoff race, and I was hoping against hope. Oh, they're gonna finish strong, and me and Jay are gonna end up looking good out of this.
Yeah, we were gonna look fantastic.
Yeah.
Mediocre. I can't go on that same ride with you when it comes to the Raiders.
Okay. Well, it's only June, so this is just kind of floating it out.
Yeah, of course. You haven't pinpointed them yet.
Right.
But you're saying the feeling right now. You're leaning towards taking the Raiders as your surprise team.
Yeah. Cynthia Freeland, who does a lot of analytics-based stuff for NFL.com, that's what she does. She has win projections for the teams. She has them at 7.4, which is actually under the over-under. Over-under on them, Jay, would be 7.5. If I were, a wagering person, I'm all in on the
You're
over
all
on
in
that.
on the
But Cynthia
7.5?
Freeland says 7.4. But everything where there were the analytics, like everybody wins between 6 and 8 games. Everybody.
Right.
It's like that doesn't actually work that way.
Colts won 8-9 last year.
Uh-huh.
I like Genty. I was hoping someone would steal Genty and not allow him to get to the Raiders. I think he's going to be dynamic. I think he's going to be the next great running back here in the league for the next handful of years. I really do believe it. I thought he should have won the Heisman last year. I think he's going to be stupendous for what the Raiders need and what they want down the road. Geno is kind of, for me, like what we're talking about here as a bridge quarterback.
Okay.
He's a bridge quarterback.
But he's a nice bridge.
Yeah, he is. He's a solid bridge.
Yeah.
One thing about it is he's a veteran. He's going to have some games where it's like, damn, Geno, you gave that away. And then, there's going to be one or two where he's going to win you a game, or at least put you in position to win a game. So for me, I think they're close to a 500 ball club. I could see them going 8-9. I could see them going, 7-10.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that they go 9-8. The one thing about the Raiders is like the Chargers when it comes to the AFC West. The Raiders normally play the Chiefs well, but for whatever reason, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, they've just been controlled by the Chiefs. Someone's got to step up, and you talk about, Oakmont has stepped up and bit some people.
Yeah.
Somebody in the AFC West, how about y'all stand up one time? We consistently talk about the Chiefs because the AFC West is trash.
Denver
Raiders,
maybe on the rise.
Yeah. We'll see.
They could have an elite defense.
They do. When they got a bunch of 49ers over there, right?
Yeah. Right.
So we'll see how it plays, but sooner or later, somebody's got to step up. Come on, Harbaugh. We need you guys to stomp out the Chiefs. I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs just run away with the division every single year.
Yeah. Here's something from NFL. Actually, this is CBSSports.com, pardon me. And it's written by Cody Benjamin.
Okay.
You know Cody Benjamin.
I know Cody Benjamin.
Good, because I wasn't going
Yeah, he's an NFL
CB.
guy, national guy. Yeah.
Yes. He has
Ryan
best
Wilson.
case, worst case scenario for all the NFL teams. Here's what he says about the Raiders. Best case scenario. Raiders culture is remade by Pete Carroll, Ashton Ginty's powerhouse running, and Geno Smith's fearless gunslinging, re-engaging fans and allowing Vegas to sneak into the postseason behind the rival Chiefs. That's best case. Worst case.
Okay.
Smith's turnover streaks rear their head. Carroll's wisdom can't make up for a dearth of defensive backfield talent, and the Raiders are right back to square one in 2026 with no long-term answers at coach or quarterback.
Yeah, I think it's in the middle.
I think best case is more likely than worst case.
Yeah, I do too. The one thing that the Raiders have, they have a dynamic offense. They're off like Brock Bowers is the truth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I like
no doubt
Mostert
about it.
in the zone blocking scheme. Remember with the 49ers, he just whoosh, gone.
The speed.
Yeah.
The other thing too is I like the law firm. I like Jacoby Myers. I think he's a good possession guy. I think his hands are spot on. The Jack Becks of the world, the Trey Tuckers, obviously those people probably need to prove it. I'm not really thrown off by their line too. I think they have a decent front line. Geno is going to be a straight down the middle type quarterback. Like I don't see him not only winning 3 games, and I don't see him winning 13 games. That was too far on the spectrum. I can see anywhere from a 6 to 9 type season with Geno. So I'm with you. I think it's closer to being, they might be able to, was that best case scenario? Make it to the playoff, sneaks behind the Chiefs. I think they're closer to that than they are to bottoming out.
Geno made
the defense is atrocious though.
Yeah. They can get after the quarterback a little bit. Geno made such an impression on me when the Seahawks came from behind to beat the 49ers at Levi's last year. Well, he played well, but also just the way you could see him, and they showed him on TV, and he's screaming at the sidelines like, what the F are we doing? I just thought, man, that's leadership because he screamed at the sidelines, but he still played well enough to win the game.
Yeah.
And I know he's revived his whole career a few years ago. That's really impressive to go from a guy who's like, this guy's no good. It's like, wow, he is good. And then just to see the way he led that team, I think this is going to be a good situation for him.
I do too. I like Pete Carroll as much as I hate to admit that. I think Pete Carroll is a fantastic coach. I really do. I think they hit when they got Brock Bowers last year, I think Genty is going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
I expect him to be rookie of the year offensively. And I like Pete Carroll. And like I said, I think Geno is a 500 type quarterback. We'll see what the defense, their back half, you talked about it, Eric Stokes, Jeremy Chin, who comes over from the Patriots, of course, a few other stops.
Stu Schweigert.
Yeah, Darnay Holmes. Like, they're leaking.
Yeah.
Forget oil. That thing's falling apart
I'm
back
not
there.
even sure what that is. It might not be oil.
Yeah.
It might be something worse.
It might be a mixture of water and oil. You might be right.
So I can see you're not on the bandwagon yet, but I can see you're figuring out if you wanted to get on the bandwagon with me. I can see you figuring out, okay, I'd have to go over there. And I have to go. You're looking at it.
Yeah, but I can tell you right now, it's not going to be the Raiders.
Really?
As we progress a little further, we'll start to have. I have my eye on a few teams. The Raiders not one. I do think the Chiefs will manhandle them again. I expect Denver and the Chargers to fight it out. I think that division is going to be tough to win too.
I think the team that you're looking at. Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Arizona Cardinals.
Nah.
No. Okay. Connor Sutton's going to join us. Sac Republic, huge week for them. They got a huge match coming up tomorrow. More on all that next on Sacktown Sports.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the Employee Pricing Plus sales event?
Anyone can get you employee pricing, but at Hoblet, it's all about the plus that you can only get here. Save up to $13,000 off MSRP on brand new 2025 heavy-duty Ram 2500 and 3500s. We have over 500 new Rams available, so your new Ram is waiting at Hoblet.
Well, how do you like the new heavy-duty trucks?
I love it. I took the new Ram 2500 with the high-output diesel and 8-speed transmission to Tahoe last weekend, and I have to say, I've not had this much fun driving a new truck in a long time. I've been driving diesels for 25 years, and this is easily the most fun, most powerful, and most responsive truck so far.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
13,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 2500 and 3500 Laramie after 4,000 factory rebates and 9,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 2,500 select inventory bonus cash and $500 on the job upfit. Must show eligible upfit. Aid with this net savings. Sample VIN 525043. See dealer for details.
At SMUD, we power local business with incentives on clean energy equipment, tools to manage electricity usage and save money, tailored solutions from dedicated strategic account advisors, and 50% lower rates than neighboring utilities, all while doing more for the planet with clean energy solutions, savings, reliability, personalized service, clean energy, helping local businesses thrive. That's our clean power promise. Learn more at smud.org.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
If your week has gone anything close to how well the week has gone for Sac Republic, you're having a great week. Of course, Sac Republic finding out the new stadium plans approved this week, and then they're back home.
Sacramento.
Yes, sir. Back home tomorrow for Brewfest. With more on all that. Nice stuff to join us once again. It's been too long since we've talked to him, Jay.
Yeah.
Director of Event Ops, Sac Republic Game Night MC, host of the Breakaway Podcast, Connor Sutton. How are you, Connor?
Oh, I'm feeling good, guys, and I'm doing even better. I get to talk to you guys this afternoon.
Wow.
Man,
That's
come
nice.
on now.
Do you think he meant that at all?
Of course. They were. Let me tell you something, Whitey. Connor and the Sac Republic family, they riding high right now.
I know.
Connor, just how high are you guys riding?
Hey, listen, I'm just telling you right now, we've been in the clouds all week long, and hoping to get a win tomorrow, and we'll stay in the clouds for another couple weeks.
Yeah, speak to that, if you would, Connor. Approval of the new stadium plans, expected. But that said, how energizing is the actual approval of the plans for the whole organization?
Well, let me tell you, I don't know if you guys have sat through a city council meeting before, but they are electric. 4 hours of just great conversation. No, it was great. Getting the unanimous vote was incredible. Of course, we won it. It's a great deal for the city, deal for the club. It's an exciting time. It's something we've been working on for a very long time. And it's something we're fired up about, finally getting to a building and a place we get to call home.
Connor, one of the things that's been talked about, of course, because of the A saga around here is breaking ground. There will be no hesitation of the Sac Republic breaking ground this summer. What's the next steps now that it's been approved? It looks like it's the summer. Can you give us some insight on what's the next steps here for the Republic?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, listen, the Tuesday vote was the next step, and now all of a sudden we can really sprint forward. Our goal is to be in the ground in the next month or so, or early in this summer, and then to open in the spring of 27 before the season. So it's a sprint. 18-month build is, we got to rush, so we know we got to get in the ground quickly, and we're hoping to have some stands up by the end of this year.
Ooh. Connor, this is a very ignorant question. How many USL teams have their own stadiums? I wouldn't think it would be many.
It's more than you think. Colorado Springs has one. Louisville City, they have their own stadiums. There's quite a few. There's probably around 8. However, some of them not going to be as large as ours in terms of a 12,000 seat stadium. We've obviously had the fan base that shows day in and day out that they love this team and, can fill 12,000 at Hard Health Park at Cal Expo. And so I feel confident, and we feel confident that going into a brand new stadium in the rail yards, that we're going to be able to sell that puppy out with 12,000, no problem.
Connor, one of the things that I'm super excited about is, and I don't know if I'm labeling it correctly, but the amphitheater, the entertainment spot, the addition that's going to be next to the stadium. Is there any insight you can give us? Just a breaking news? Is there anything extra that we could put on top of that?
Well, listen, Downtown Rail Yard Ventures, they're the ones running that. That's the paint shop. That's going to be a little closer to I-5. I know that's around a 2,500 seat amphitheater. That's going to have a lot of really, really cool concert venues. I'm also excited, though, for our stadium because we're going to be hosting some pretty large concerts at our stadium as well. I know we got some, maybe looking at some country events. I mean, listen, during the summertime, you want to be outside for concerts, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what we're excited to be able to host at the Republic Stadium coming up in a couple years.
That's Connor Sutton, of course, with the Republic FC. Republic FC closing out a stretch of 5 straight home matches tomorrow night against San Antonio. Ain't they pretty good, Connor?
Yeah. Yes, I will tell you, listen, this is a team we don't really like that much. Yeah. They don't really like us that much.
Right.
And that's my favorite game. We've had some red cards in the past against this team. So there's going to be some energy, a little vengeance on the mind. Mm-hmm. It's going to be really physical. And we're expecting a big crowd, and so the crowd's going to probably be all on top of the officials and the opposing team tomorrow night. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Connor, one of the great atmospheres of the USL, let alone just soccer, period. This year, how's it been looking with the excitement of knowing that, there's going to be something new on the horizon? Have you seen a little more of a buzz in the atmosphere, or is it the same old, and we just continue to do what the Sac Republic does, which is be the best?
Listen, I think the buzz is going to start ramping up right now. I think, and fairly, fans and Sacramento people have been thinking, they will believe it when they see it, right? There's been some starts and stops on this in this long 12-year process. And I think now they saw the city council vote where there won't be any more city council votes needed. They see the shovels in the ground. They start to see the stands, erected. I think that is going to continue to build more and more and more excitement. So fairly, I think fans were optimistic, but cautiously optimistic. And now that they're starting to see these next steps, I think the energy is going to really start ramping up. And we're excited to start that this Saturday.
That's Republic Game Night MC Connor Sutton, of course. I understand tomorrow's Brew Fest. My understanding is 20 local breweries participating. So I can probably, sample like 2 or 3 of these? Connor, this sounds like a great night. Is that the deal?
You can sample every single one of them. We get these hang on. We got these mini cups. You can sample as many as you want. Obviously, we want people to drink responsibly. However, it's going to be nice weather. But yeah, you can have, I think we're going to actually have 26 is the number. Ooh. So there's going to be all types of things on tap. You can try, figure out which one you think is the best. And yeah, you can try all 26. It's just small mugs, so it's not nothing crazy.
Sampler, right. It's the sampler. It's the flight club.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Connor, man, you talked about San Antonio. I haven't asked this to anybody at Sac Republic. You talk about San Antonio being disliked highly by the Republic. Who's our rival? Is it the Oakland Roots? Like who do we just dislike and hate the most right now?
All right. Well, I got a list for you. Want me to pull it out?
Yeah, please.
All right.
Pull the scroll out, please.
Yeah. Oakland Roots is probably number one, but that's just mostly because it's a local rivalry. Okay. Although I would say they hate us more than we hate them. It's kind of the big brother situation, at least for us. I know Sacramento's not typically a big brother, but I think in that relationship we are. San Antonio is definitely on the list. Phoenix Rising is on that list. Couple years ago, they knocked us out of the playoffs with a handball punch. I don't know if you guys remember that. Yep. It went viral on social media. It was pretty bad call. So I think those are the 3 teams that I would mention. But listen, I think every team is really, really. I just think Sacramento. There's a lot of teams that don't like us, and that's okay because we've been good, because we have a good fan base. They're expecting 10,000 fans to be in the stadium rooting against them, and that's going to fire them up. A lot of these teams, they don't have quite the atmosphere we do in Sacramento. So these playing in front of that's going to be electric is so fun for teams.
Connor Sutton, we appreciate it. Have fun tomorrow night. Congratulations on all the great news. We look forward to a lot more. Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Can't stand Phoenix. Got no love for Oakland. San Antonio, just call me Charles Barkley. That's how we doing it now.
That's amazing. It's just such a, having seen the way we've gotten to this point from all the ups and downs of Sacramento's professional sports saga. I just feel great for all the people that have been working so hard on it for so long.
No, you're spot on, man.
Yeah.
One thing about the city, the City of Trees, we're putting it on now. We're putting it on thick.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting to get amphitheaters, new stadiums popping up. I still haven't been able to go over to Sac State. I ain't gonna talk about it no more, Whitey. You know what?
I thought we had you set up.
No, ain't nobody got me set up.
Planetarium.
Yeah, man. I can almost get anywhere in Sacramento, but I can't get in this planetarium.
I thought it was Skip Bishop and my daughter who's on the faculty. I thought we had you all set up.
Well, I'm waiting on the email. Wow. A phone call.
That's my responsibility.
No, that's not. No. You don't work for Sac State.
Yeah.
Sac State, you're listening. Dr. Woods, Jason Ross, Coach Marion.
Mm-hmm.
Shouts out to Lim Adams.
Coach Bibby.
Coach Bibby. I mean, we can't get no planetarium tickets around here.
We got to have Drive Guys Sac State Planetarium Night.
I like it.
That's what we got to do.
City is putting on right now, though. It is fun and exciting times. We got Thursday night concerts in the park jumping off. I mean, it's so much going on, man. Have you heard of K Tronada?
No.
He's an artist. He's like I don't even know how to explain him. He's a DJ, but they're artists these days. My wife turned me on to K Tronada. Not the biggest K Tronada fan, but his movement is amazing. He just did something down here, I believe, on Capitol in Sacramento. You should look that up. Sacramento is up right now. We are up, Whitey. I know you got love for Vallejo, but Sacramento is also, it's got a third of your heart.
It does.
Yeah,
at
absolutely,
least,
baby.
At least. Been here
right
a long time, Jay. Bobby Gerald's going to join us bottom of the next hour. When we come back, Vicini's latest mock has the Kings taking who? That's next on Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Your next adventure is waiting at Sky River Casino with a $500,000 travel around the world giveaway. Get one free daily entry and 100 bonus entries every Monday and Tuesday. Earn more entries by playing slots and table games. Join us every Saturday, where you can pack your bags as our guaranteed $15,000 dream vacation winner. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Averyana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
KHD KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. Live and local, it's the Tribe Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Thanks for being with us on pretty fun Friday. Already talked to Connor Sutton and Tim Neverett. Tim Neverett with the Dodgers. Connor Sutton, of course, with the Republic FC. We talked to Tom Wharton, who's been caddying at the U.S. Open, and Bobby Jarrell's going to join us with a look at the upcoming NBA draft. Before we get any further, Jay, I could really use your help. Do you know anything about cats?
Nah, I'm not a big cat person.
I'm not either. But maybe you can give me some advice here. Long story short, and we'll get to back to the Kings. There's a little poster on the street sign across from our house, and there's not usually any sign there, so you couldn't help but notice it. Pull out, I check it. It's like, what's this? And somebody is missing. Our cat is missing, and somebody from nearby in the neighborhood. And there's a picture of the cat. Say, hey, please call this number if you've seen our cat. And I'm looking at the picture like, okay, there's a cat that looks similar to that cat that I've seen in our backyard. But I think it's been for a while. There's 3 cats that come into our yard. There's a little black and white one, Socks. I named that after like Bill Clinton's cat, Socks the cat. There's one of those orange and black cats.
Little tabby.
Cal, because the Orioles are orange and black, so it's Cal.
Right.
And then there's this cat, and I don't have a name for him because he just looks at me like, just how cats are sometimes. They kind of look down on
attitude.
You. Yeah. So this cat that it looks kind of like the cat that's in the picture. So I told Sheena that, and Sheena found, the name of the cat is on the sign. I don't want to say it in case the owners are listening, because I'm not sure what to do here.
Sure.
And so she shouted to the cat in the backyard, like, hey, Timmy, whatever it is. And the cat looks. But that doesn't really mean anything, because, you yell at a cat, he's in your backyard, he's probably going to look. So we're not sure. But the thing is, the cat is having the time of his life, Jay. This cat comes strolling through our yard all the time. And there's birds back there, and there's lizards, and there's water. We got the pond and the pool, and he's just like, you can tell he has it going on. And he almost looks at me like, when we say what we think his name might be, he almost looks at me like, bro, don't turn me in. And
he's parlaying in the backyard.
I don't know what to do. Even if I call, and I say to people, hey, here's the picture, here's your cat. Yes. What are they going to do? You can't. I don't go after the cat. I don't want them chasing their cat in my yard. I do want them not to worry if that's, oh yeah, your cat's okay. But the cat is fine.
Living my best life.
Yes. Yeah, bro. Do not turn me in.
I'm on a vacay. I'm at a resort. You got a resort back there.
Yeah. So I don't know. What do you think? Any idea?
Dang, that's a tough one, White. Because if as a pet owner, I would want my pet back.
Right.
All love.
I understand that. And you at least want to know, is he or she okay?
True.
Yeah.
Straight. Does he or she, the cat, does the cat have a collar?
That's a great question. I don't think he does.
Oh, okay. So he wiggled up out of the house. Yeah.
He might be a different cat entirely.
Yeah, right. But he's parlaying in your backyard.
Yeah.
Paws are up.
Yes.
He's got his paws up.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't really mind. You want to hang out back there? All right. Make yourself useful, but sure.
I would say dial up the number, or at least have Mrs. Gleason dial up the number and just say, or take maybe, it's probably a cell phone. Maybe take a picture. Hey, is this your cat?
Yeah, I have a picture.
Okay.
And I'm wondering. Mm-hmm. But it's not a great picture, and they might not even be able to tell. I think you're right.
So you kind of masking the picture. You don't even want to put.
He's far away. The cat doesn't come up to it. He looks at it. It's like,
right.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Right.
But yeah. So, but it is, the funny thing is, this cat seems to have an attitude. In the picture they have of him or whatever cat it is, he's like stretched out, like, what's up? So from that, I think that
might be the cat. Yeah. He's like, man, don't turn the player in. I don't know, man.
I think I do have to just reach out.
Just at least a phone call. Say, we might got a cat that, resembles.
Yeah. And maybe at the very least, maybe
Fluffy.
He ran away, but we're so glad to hear that he's doing well. He's doing really well.
Yeah,
he's almost doing too well.
He politicking. He politicking in the Gleason backyard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe call. Just call.
I think so.
Just
I also am afraid I don't want to get their hopes up, like, oh, and then send the picture, and oh no, it's not him. But I should.
What can you do about that?
Yeah,
you're doing your just due.
I should at least just reach out to them.
Like we might have a cat over here. And if it's meant to be, he'll double back around. He'll circle back around, right?
Yeah. I think the other two cats might be afraid of him. I don't know about that. So yeah, you're right. It's a responsible thing to do. If it was my cat, never had a cat though. Like, you never had a cat?
My mom has. Yeah, but I mean, not a cat person.
Yeah. I like them fine. They're kind of cool, but just like, why would you get a cat if you could get a dog?
Some people don't like dogs.
I know.
They're afraid of dogs, many different avenues. My mom she's a Dr. Doolittle. She don't mind having cat or dog.
Yeah.
So she's good with either.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. We lost our dog not too long ago.
Right.
I miss him. But that's and then the cats are like, hello, I know where I'm hanging out.
That's it. The sin is there no longer, huh?
Right,
This is the hangout now.
Yeah. Squirrels, everybody. The squirrels. I was at my backyard a couple days ago. Squirrel climbs down the tree and sees me. Squirrels are like, bah! He just looks at me like, You got
what's up, man? You ain't put no pressure on the animals around your neighborhood.
You got something you need to do? Because I'm kind of looking for nuts here. Yeah, so
you got an oasis in that backyard.
Yeah,
you got a whole Hilton resort,
a menagerie.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
The Gleason Petting Zoo, cats and squirrels.
Man.
Yeah, we had just last week. This little fuzzy little scrub jay comes up on the deck to the front door. What? He didn't know how to fly. He just fell out of the nest or something. He didn't know how to fly yet. Can't help you, bro. Cannot help you. Try flapping those suckers and see what happens. I got nothing for you.
You cold blood, Mr. Gleason. You ain't got no love for the
What
pets,
am I
man.
gonna do? Literally comes to the sliding glass door. Talking to my wife. We can't teach you how to fly. That's something you gotta know yourself.
And he just disappeared?
I think but there was one of those cats was watching.
See what I'm saying?
I think he figured it out.
Fluffy got their eye on him. That's cold blood, man.
You
could
at
least put him in a shoebox or something.
We had all his feathers and everything.
Man,
he just came.
Fell out. Did you see it? You see him fall
we
out?
saw him come down.
Oh, okay.
I think it was either he was trying to get out of the nest or maybe he got pushed out because it was time. Clearly, it was time. Jay.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he wasn't like one of those birds that doesn't have his feathers and stuff. He was like, no, you got to help yourself. You're on your own now.
Boy, you running a cold movement over here at the Gleason household.
That's right. Yeah. What's good for you? You'll get off my deck. I got a lot of cats to come back here, bird. You better take care of yourself.
See, here we go real fast. Kev, try and take a better picture of the cat. Send it to the number. Coming from someone that had a pet disappear, I would reach out.
Yes.
That's from Katrina.
Thank you. That's a good idea.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Pet, you know how it is. You just went through it, man.
Yes.
R.I.P. Yeah, absolutely. You got to, do that.
Mm-hmm.
And if not, then guess what? That cat parlaying and no oasis.
I'm afraid if they come to get him, he's going to look at me like, thanks. You turned me in. Appreciate that. I was having a great time. Jay, here's the latest on mock drafts. I know Bobby Gerald's coming up. This is from Sam Vicini, the Athletic mock draft. We don't know where the Kings are going to end up with all the reports that they're trying to move on up like the Jeffersons. But as of right now, they have the 42nd pick. And here you go. My guy, Sam Vicini, with the 42nd pick in the NBA draft, the mock draft. The Sacramento Kings select Bogolub Markovic. Yeah.
Bogey?
Yes, 6'10 forward. I've seen him listed at 6'11, 19 years old.
Yeah, explain to me what you've seen in Bogey, because I haven't done the research and did my just due. What has your feathers in a ruffle about Bogey right now?
6'11, thin as a rail, but can shoot, has a little bit of attitude. And let's be honest, Jay, part of it is for me, it's that unknown. I haven't seen him. When you see somebody play, as we do with most of the Americans, you see like that guy's good, but he did this. I don't know. He's a good player. When you don't see the guys overseas, it's like, this is the greatest player ever. You kind of maybe in your mind build them up to be a little more than they are. Right. I will say this, Bobby Gerald coming up, and I think Bobby Gerald has him rated much higher than that.
Ooh.
Yeah, we'll confirm that with Bobby Gerald.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of the unknown.
Right.
And that's got you excited a bit.
Yes. But I just also, he would address a couple needs for the Kings, some length. And again, he's very thin. So obviously at the NBA level, you got to figure something out as far as how to deal with that. But he can shoot. So
the question I ask you, I think you asked this, or maybe Drapes asked this to, I don't know, man. We have Nathan Grubel or maybe Rafael Barlow this past week. Is he someone that you can see just from your eye, seen a lot of basketball, who can come in and contribute to the Kings right away? Like,
probably
is he going to be a rotational piece already?
I wouldn't think so because he's so slender and he's only 19.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So, but I mean, he could be a piece going forward this year, be one of those like in a blowout. Kings are blowing out whoever. Oh, we're going to get to see Bogey play tonight.
Gotcha.
But it might take a while.
Okay.
That's how it was with Kuminga too. I'm not saying he's Kuminga. Kuminga played a lot more professionally, I think, than this guy has, but that's okay. I mean, where the Kings are, young player that's going to be an asset going forward, I'm okay with that. Are you more in line in thinking of that you need somebody who's going to help you right now?
Well, no, not necessarily, because unless the Kings make a move, that we don't see right now, I think the Kings are just hunting and pecking for somebody that is going to work, as you said, the next 2 or 3 years. They'll transition into being a rotational piece, or maybe even better. As of this year, unless they move up to top 10 for me, then no. So I'm looking for something, a project, and maybe not even a project is the best word to describe it, but I'm definitely looking for someone that's going to transition into a buildable piece within the next 2 or 3 years for sure.
It's possible that the Kings, it's two different things. They may not be looking for the point guard of the future in this draft. Maybe they are. We know they talked to Jeremiah Fears.
Right.
But if they're going to end up 20th, and maybe they like Walter Clayton Jr. a lot, maybe they see him as a guy, but it's quite possible that they don't feel the need to address that in this draft.
Maybe,
I'm
with you. I think for everything that we've heard, they're looking to jump back into the first round. Rafael Barlow right here on this show said he used the word aggressively. Mm-hmm. He's heard from sources that the Kings are aggressively looking to move up to the first round. I'm not exactly sure if they're just looking to move up to the first round for one player or just having their options open. As you talked about, talking to Jeremiah Fears, I don't think he gets past 10. So you would have to move up a little bit higher. I could be completely wrong. We can ask Bobby Gerald about that coming up here in about 15 minutes. But I just think they're looking for a quality person, a quality player to add to the repertoire as they move forward. And as you've talked about quite a bit, get younger. They want to get younger.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you look at this squad, they're looking to maximize the youth movement here as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Campy in the chat is accusing me of being a catnapper.
Nah.
I've never laid my hands on the cat. Cat has come into my yard of his own free will.
Absolutely.
And I'm still not sure it's the cat in question.
Yeah, absolutely. All you're doing is providing a safe haven for that cat to get back to their house when it's due time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I dare you, Campy. Don't approach my guy like that. Boy got a whole aces in the backyard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. By the way, there's another point guard rumor out there that is not being connected to the Kings, which is surprising. And I think you sent it to me, Jay. It looks like, we've talked a lot about Lonzo.
Yeah.
Lonzo would be traded. He's not a free agent, but it looks like Minnesota is really making a play for Lonzo. And Minnesota, according to reports, is also one of the teams that's really been working hard on trying to figure out a way to bring in Kevin Durant. So Minnesota's a team that, had a really good year. It ended before they wanted it to, but they might be looking at this and going, all right, next year we're gonna go
all in.
Yeah.
We're one piece away.
Yeah.
See Rudy Gobert tweet something as like, it still continues and it continues or something. And it is a picture, not bird's eye, but maybe from the middle 100 sections. And it's a picture showing Rudy with his arms around some of his teammates and kind of showing like a half court version of the Minnesota Timberwolves with other fans. But I really think there are, and we know with the Kevin Durant situation, it has to be a team who feels like they're one piece away.
Yeah.
It's everything we've heard from Windhorst to Shams to anybody that you want to listen to. Stein has talked about that. I've seen David Aldridge drop a line or two talking about KD, that's the Washington connection, David Aldridge and KD.
Mhm.
Not saying he was going to Washington, but as far as they know each other quite well. And so there is no doubt KD is going to a place that's going to maximize him for the next 2 or 3 years time.
Yeah.
And Minnesota's probably right there. And we know Ant's favorite player is
Right.
Kevin Durant.
KD. I would think the emphasis would be on next year. You're right. You got him 2-3 years. That's great. But all you can really, you can't even really count on next year. But, you don't know how long he's going to be healthy. But next year, I think he's a really good fit for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I also think this, it's amazing how people are already getting so excited about free agency and who's going where. Some people even more interested in that than like who's going to win the game in the finals tonight. Never mind that. Where's Giannis going? And you remember years ago, 2010, when LeBron had the decision, take him out to South Beach, and he was just roasted for that. The commissioner said ill-conceived, poorly produced, badly executed. I honestly think, Jay, this will never happen. But if the top free agents did that, if ESPN or somebody, they reached an agreement with Giannis, KD, the free agents anyway, it's different when a guy's going to get traded, people would watch that.
Of course.
Yeah. Somebody could make a lot of money on that.
I hadn't even thought about that, White.
Yeah.
Definitely. I would.
Because people watch, I watch, it's a trade deadline special or free agency special. And sometimes nothing happens.
No.
And you're just in the poor hosts are, we thought this was going to happen. I understand. That's the nature of it. But if you had for big name free agents, and I don't even know who the biggest free agent would be this year, but if you had that and you had 3 to 5 of them, that's maybe a lot, but 3 top free agents, like so-and-so's announcing his decision tonight at 7 on SportsCenter, people would watch.
Well, they do it for recruits.
Exactly.
Yeah. People would.
Yes.
I was just sitting here getting ready to look up the viewership of the decision. People had to tune in. I know I did. I watched it. Right. And so, I think if we're talking about, the Ant Edwards of the league, but guys like that, absolutely.
Yeah.
And even
plus he raised money for the boys club,
right?
Didn't he?
I was gonna say LeBron did. That was the push behind it. Is as bad as it was received, the one thing you could say is it was for a great foundation, a great cause. And so I do think the NBA has a good window in the summer to really capitalize
Absolutely.
on that. So if they really wanted to make go over the top and make it a huge production, damn, I'd watch it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Mm-hmm. I think our attitudes have changed about free agency too in the last, 15 years ago? I think our attitudes have changed about steroids some.
Yeah.
We're much more tolerant of that, which I'm fine with. Okay, whatever. I think at that time, like, who does this guy think he is announcing where he's going on a show? And now I think we know who he was. Like, there was a reason why he did that. He was LeBron. And I think now we're more cognizant of, there's some value in that. I think it would be highly rated. And I think a lot of people could make a lot of money. And maybe even some of that money would go to good causes. I don't know.
Why we might be giving too much game here.
I think so.
We might need to pipe down on this real fast and make a phone call or two. I will say you said something super interesting. You know what else I think is accepted a whole lot more, and you can school me a little more on this, is free agency.
Exactly.
Is definitely
right.
Like, you really sit back and look at just how far free agency has come. There's still a few whispers, and I think they're kind of like the staunch people of each sport. I like my guy. I like Michael Jordan. But even Jordan played on 2 teams.
Yeah.
I like my person, Reggie Miller. I like Steph Curry. I like Kobe. I don't want anybody to jump around. Well, that's old school.
Yeah.
We're really talking about it. It's Friday. We on the Flashback Friday. That's flashback stuff.
Yep.
It is accepted to jump around now. I mean, there are so many superstars, Whitey, who have played on more than 5 teams.
Yeah.
Look at Durant. Durant is escalating his team count up the board right now. Like, man.
I had that discussion once with one of Rick Barry's sons. I think it was Scooter. But
3-on-3,
Rick Barry,
baby.
going way back, he jumped leagues. He went from the NBA to the ABA.
Right.
And then he came back into the NBA, and eventually he left the Warriors as a free agent, went to the Rockets. And at the time it was like, oh my goodness, that's kind of untoward. but he was ahead of his time. And Scooter said, yeah, guys do that all the time now.
Right.
My dad was the first, and you're right. We are, because we understand, why shouldn't a guy be able to choose where he goes?
Yeah, that's very true. You know what? Next time we get the legendary Jerry Reynolds on, you just gave me a question or two. How was the perception? How was it received when Lou Alcindor, aka or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, transferred from the Bucks to the Lakers, or Wilt Chamberlain jumped, or Dr. J? Like there are a few players who did move from one team to another that were, it would seem that it'd be catastrophic if I was a Milwaukee Buck fan. If I was, like you're talking about Rick Barry, it's like, oh my goodness, Rick is leaving? Oh, hell no. How does that work? That'd be super interesting how it was received back in, the 60s and the 70s.
I think it's funny to look at Dame, who's like, I don't want to chase a ring. I want to stay in Portland.
Yeah.
And then he resigns and then decides, no. And then he gets traded to Milwaukee. But I don't think anyone ever really held that against him. Did they?
Nah, but yeah. I think Dame's a little different.
I don't think they should.
No, yeah. I'll tell you the reason why I think Dame is a little different is I think Dame actually went through the fire.
Yeah.
Unlike some, I don't want to say KD didn't. I don't want to say LeBron didn't, because LeBron took the Cavs to heights that they never could have imagined, even in the first go around. But to me, Dame really stuck it out with Portland. He went through a lot. And then I think it just came down to the point to where fans looked at it and say, yeah, they're not trying to help Dame.
Yeah.
How many times did we hear Dame say, oh, okay, man, look, I want to be here. All right, I got to go. No, I want to be here. I got to go. It was like he was fighting his own self, personally, internally. And Portland, they tried a couple of times. Remember, they made it to the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors.
Yeah.
They just couldn't get over the hurdle. But I think Dame has looked at it as, first of all, you played in Portland, small market, so to say. You did everything you possibly could for the Blazers. And it wasn't enough. You moved on. Especially it wasn't in his prime too. Like it was kind of towards the tail end of his career.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't blame a guy or a woman, pro player that leaves a team for free agency. I don't blame them at all. Pardon me. That said, when Giannis stayed, I thought that was really cool.
Me too.
I admired that. And then they won a championship. I remember when they won, and that was like in August or something because of the weird COVID schedules and everything got out of whack. But I remember I thought, man, that's really admirable. Now it looks like he may stay again. The latest today is, as of now, he has not asked to be traded. It'd be interesting if he does, but if he doesn't and he stays, I have to admit that may be a contradiction. People that leave for other teams in free agency, don't blame them. But if Giannis stays, I will admire that.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah, there is a different level that I think we hold a player, an athlete, to a higher standard if they put it all in for one city. I definitely believe that. Yeah, for sure.
Bobby Gerald is going to join us, founder of hoopobsession.com. We'll talk more about Bogoljub Markovic. I actually had somebody who on X asked me about that interview, Jay. When are you doing that interview? So he's got fans out there. We'll find out about
BG.
Yeah,
of course, man.
Find out about Bogey and what else Bobby Gerald thinks of the upcoming Kings draft next on Sacktown Sports.
If there's one thing we know about dads, it's that they're not easy to shop for. Enter Kohl's. They've got everything from Nike golf gear to his favorite Levi's jeans. And you can save 20% on other finds like Flex Athleisure and Izod workwear. So if you're not sure what to get Dad for Father's Day, you know where to go. Shop Kohl's now. Select styles. Offer ends June 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to Nike and Levi's. See store at Kohl's.com for details.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's, and My Lowe's Pro Rewards members can save even more with limited time deals. Right now, buy one, get one half off. Select HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Primer and Ceiling Paint. Plus, get free same-day delivery to your job site when you order by 2 p.m. Offer valid through 6/13. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Summer is pretty much here, and Father's Day is right around the corner. One way to get Dad fired up for Father's Day, trust me, I know, stop into Amy's Outdoor Living and see their ultimate lineup of barbecue grills. We're talking Weber gas grills, starting at just $3.99. Traeger Woodridge pellet grills starting at $7.99. That's a great price. Rectech begins at just $5.99. Plus, think about this. Amy's has free setup and delivery. The Gosney pizza ovens, I got one of those, starts at $3.99. Nothing like being out back with your family, making a homemade pizza. Find great gifts for dad like Yeti coolers and comfy hammocks. Amy will pay the sales tax on all in-stock furniture. Family-owned and operated, Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt, where I used to go as a kid with my dad, and also brand new in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. Tell him your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent ya.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. Doesn't matter in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6814. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6814. 800-575-6814. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Skeeter here. Got a question. What's small and dark with white bands on its legs and bites during the day?
Mosquitoes. Hi, I'm just finding out about this, but these are 2 new types of day-biting mosquitoes. They're invading our area and becoming a big problem.
And they can be dangerous.
But we're on it, so when you see them, report it at fightthebite.net. In the meantime, use insect repellent and drain stagnant water around your yard.
We're here to help with these day-biting mosquitoes.
Visit us at fightthebite.net.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Listen, if you get a chance, don't forget to join Imran Pilati and myself tomorrow at 10 here on Sacktown Sports for the True Sports Card Show. One of the reasons I mention that is because I believe our next guest just got some good news from PSA. I think he has a Jacob Wilson Chrome first card, which is like pre-rookie, and he got a Gem Mint 10 grade on it.
Come on.
If I'm not mistaken. Bobby
Let's
Jarrett.
go.
How are you, Bobby?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Good. Is that a true story? Do I have that right on your Jacob Wilson card?
That is a true story. I'm a casual baseball guy, but I've been watching the A's, and I've always just thought that I can, even though I may not follow football or follow baseball, I'm really hardcore basketball. I always feel like I know talent when I see it, musical, whatever. And that Jacob Wilson kid, man, he just has caught my fancy. So, I did what I had to do to acquire a chrome Jacob Wilson refractor too. So, it's a little side investment.
That's right. That's right. That's a good move right there, my brother. That's sell a few records or something, huh?
Yeah. I've got like 2 baseball cards of modern day players. I have Judge and I have Jacob Wilson. Everything else is like basketball, football, or some old school baseball. Ricky Henderson was my dude. So a lot of Ricky Henderson stuff. But yeah, you're a collector, right, Whitey?
Yes. But I don't know if I have anything to match what you got going. That's impressive.
That's dope. That's dope. BG, I don't know you. I know you're a busy man, so you're probably moving and grooving on the streets of the City of Trees a little earlier. But I had played Rumors from Club Nouveau.
Yes.
And Whitey's like, hey, don't they got 2 versions of that song? So I broke it down to him real quickly, but I told him the expert of Club Nouveau, Timex Social Club is Mr. Bobby Gerald, because Whitey, I
recorded a parody song with the lead vocalist from Timex Social Club.
Okay.
It was a parody of Rumors. Yeah.
So here's the quick breakdown is Timex Social Club preceded Club Nouveau. Both founded by Sacramento's Jay King. I don't know if that was the guy that maybe you did something with there, Whitey, or not. I believe the actual lead singer is Samuel Prater. Now, Timex Social Club and Club Nouveau went separate ways, and it wasn't the greatest party. And so, or Timex Social Club and Jay King. So Jay King founded Club Nouveau after Timex Social Club. But Rumors by Timex Social Club was a huge hit.
Yes.
Right in, about the time I was graduating high school. So I'll date myself quite a bit there.
Young man, you're a young man.
Yeah, I worked at a radio station where we played that. It was a big hit. It was kind of a crossover hit. So
you couldn't avoid Rumors. And then when they broke up, then Jay made a song called Jealousy that had some mentions about his broken Timex social friends and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, it was a thing.
Yeah,
for a while. Yeah,
Bobby Gerald with us.
He's still kicking here in Sacramento. He's still doing his thing. He's on the radio, on an AM radio station, and very involved in the community.
He is.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep, he is.
Bobby Gerald, founder of Hoops Obsession, hoopobsession.com. Pardon me. Speaking of Rumors, let's say the Kings end up staying at 42, Bobby, and we know there's lots of rumors that they may move up. Who are some of the best players who figure to be in play? And will my guy, Bogoljub Markovic, perhaps be there at 42 in the Kings pick?
Well, we got a couple things here we still need to sweat out, and that is Father's Day Sunday is the deadline for internationals to withdraw from the draft. So there's still a possibility. I have a first round grade on him. I noticed that. Yeah, I know that he would go in the first round. But if he's a second rounder at that age, it makes me wonder really if he'll stay in the draft. So I think we need to cross that bridge first. And then if he does stay in the draft, my personal feeling is that he'd probably be gone by 42. But there's some things to like there for sure. I don't think he's the greatest athlete, but he's a 19-year-old that can shoot. He's been doing very well in the Adriatic League. He was named the best young player in the Adriatic League. Former winners of that include Alperen Şengün. Not nearly the efficient player that Şengün was in the Adriatic. And I heard you guys talking a little bit earlier about how it's really hard with the Euros because you don't get to watch the games. So I posted a link on my Twitter X account. It's the latest tweet that I've posted there. I'm at Bobby Gerald. And there's a link to a full game there for the sickos who want to, get a chance to watch this guy and play a full game. So there it is. Yes, sir.
BG, the last mock draft that I saw was June 5th, and if you've had one post that, forgive me, but you had Vlad Gold of Michigan, who moved with Dusty May from Florida Atlantic. Speaking of Euros, even though Russia's a little further, but he is a European, so to say, coming from Russia, but he has played here in the college game. Why do you have the Kings choosing him at center, the 7-footer?
Well, Jay, again, my list is more of a ranking than a mock draft. So I'm not projecting that Golden would be there, but he is a guy that figures to go somewhere around that range. I'm not a super Vlad Golden fan. I mean, let's be realistic here. We're talking about the 42nd pick in the draft, right?
Yeah.
So just to give some of the listeners an example, let's go with the last 8 42nd picks. 3 have been real NBA players. That's Thomas Bryant, Bruce Brown, and Nick Richards. So obviously you can find something there. There have been 2 maybes. Tristan Vukcevic, who is with the Wizards, who's someone I actually like. KJ Simpson with the Charlotte Hornets, who's just 1 year into his career. We don't know. And then there's been 3 misses: Admiral Schofield, Isaiah Livers, and Trevor Keels. And that's kind of what you're looking at. You know what I mean? It's beauty's in the eye of the beholder at that point. And I just think the main thing you can do is try to draft a guy that you think is going to be in the NBA in 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? Definitely don't think about need. Don't think about, hey, this guy would fit on our team or any of that kind of stuff, man. Just try to get the best possible guy on your list and hope he's still around.
Yeah. By the way, Bob, seriously, the last 3 players you just mentioned there, speaking of sports cards, I believe I have the rookie card for all 3 of those guys. And that's why I'm still working. Let me put it that way.
Schofield, Livers, and Trevor Keels.
Isaiah Livers, Michigan. Yeah, man. There's some guys with some collegiate names there.
I've still got them in the sleeves. I haven't given up
right?
hope. Yeah.
Hey, you got to keep the rookie cards in the sleeves, though, right? I mean, right? Just in case, right? Just in case there's some sort of situation. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
5 years down the road, this guy starts falling.
Yeah. If the report that the Kings could trade up into low 20s, let's say it's true, let's say it happens, what kind of players you think they would be looking at realistically 20, 21 in that range?
Well, maybe if you do move up to get into that kind of a position, Ryan Kalkbrenner from Creighton is someone that I would think would fit the bill. I've talked about this before, and not everyone agrees with me, but I think that Domantas Sabonis probably should be playing the 4 spot in the NBA. I think we've seen the ceiling for the Kings with him as their 5. Which was 48 wins a couple years ago and a first round exit. And since then it's deteriorated. I think that because of Domas's newfound ability to hit the 3 now, he shot over 41% last year and is getting much more comfortable at that. And then looking around the landscape of the NBA and seeing a lot of teams playing a bigger guy now at the 4 spot. I look at a Julius Randle in the playoffs and I thought to myself, is there really much that he's doing right now that Domas can't do? Maybe without less silly mistakes too. So, so that's kind of where I'm at. I would love to see Domas slide down to the 4 and then get a real rim protector, someone who can anchor the defense at the 5. The problem is there aren't a ton of those guys available in the NBA. Rudy Gobert isn't just floating around all over the place. But I think that this Ryan Kalkbrenner guy, and he's not a kid, he's a 23-year-old. He has the positional NBA size. He's 7'1", 7'6" wingspan, 257 pounds. He's a shot blocker that I don't believe he ever fouled out of a game in college. So, if you're a shot blocker that can defend without fouling, that's big time. He averaged 19.2 points, 8.7 rebounds, which led the Big East. He blocked 2.7 shots per game. That also led the Big East. Big East career leader in field goal percentage.
Wow.
At 65.8%. National Association of Coaches, Defensive Player of the Year. So this is a guy who can block shots, defend. He's durable, career leader in minutes played in the Big East as well. But he's older. He's 23 years old. But I do think that that's someone that, if you were moving into the 20s, that might be someone that you try to take a good long look at. And then there are other players. I think Walter Clayton Jr. from Florida is an interesting player who really was a star of March Madness. Maybe not exactly what the Kings are looking for, but nevertheless, just an accurate shooter and a guy who seems to have that clutch gene. And so I think those 2 guys are interesting for sure.
BG, it's interesting because I was going to ask you about Walter Clayton Jr. If I'm not mistaken, you have shooting guard next to his name versus point guard. Is there a reason? What is he, a combo type of guy? Like, where are you seeing him at?
Yeah, I think that he's more of a two than a point guard, and that's kind of just based on everything that I've seen with him as far as um, assist to turnover ratio is more two guard, like 1.73 to 1. Most of your good point guards are going to be up above 2.2 to 1. There's no doubt though that his size, like he's only 6'2" and he measured with a 6'4" wingspan. That's small. So, from a guarding standpoint, I think he's going to have to guard point guards. He's a minus defender and probably always will be just because of the size. But the shot is just so beautiful. He squares up so beautifully, and just seems to be, when everything's going at its craziest, he was the coolest dude in the room. Just by habit. And so he's interesting to me. But again, I don't think that that's necessarily what the Kings need. I mean, they need a point guard, but I don't think he's going to be an NBA point guard that's going to come right in and make a difference. Not for what the Kings are looking for, at least in my opinion.
For these draft candidates, we have comps, the type of person or player they can become. And that's why for Walter Clayton Jr., you mentioned how he can stay calm under pressure. My comp for him is Jay, because Jay is like, you know what? Things are going sideways. Jay's going to be okay, and he's going to handle it. Bobby Gerald with us. Who in this draft do you think is being undervalued, underrated?
Adu Thero is definitely my guy. We have guys every year in the draft that we kind of attach ourselves to, that we have a little bit higher rated than others do. And Thero is a guy who played for Arkansas. He's 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan, 218 pounds. He's an athletic, tough player that can be efficient on offense without having plays run for him, which I always value. He's a plus defender that can guard multiple positions. So to me, this is the type of guy that you're looking for. He enjoys contact. He takes charges. He plays a physical game. He's like the first to the floor for a loose ball. He's the kind of guy that I think Doug Christie would really appreciate. The one thing with him is he's not a super accurate shooter, and so you come back to that old problem again. I think he needs to be on a team where he's surrounded by shooters. But he is someone that I definitely like. And another one is Janai Broom from Auburn. He was really ballyhooed as a great college player, but there are a lot of people that see him slipping into the early second to mid second round. And I just think he's just too skilled to really fall that far. SEC Player of the Year.
He's a little bit older, right? I mean, for a draft guy, yeah.
Let's see. He's born in 2002, so right now he's 22. He'll be 23 on July 19th. So not that much older than a lot of the other guys here. But that's a thing. Some teams seem to really want to take chances on some of these younger guys and hope that they develop into something, and some have a different philosophy. And
Gotcha.
I'm not sure if we know. I think the only thing we really know about Scott Perry, dating back and looking back at guys he's drafted, is he's tend to go after guys that are major school guys. You know what I mean? If you look back to what he did with the Kings, what he drafted Harry Giles from Duke and Justin Jackson from North Carolina, and you can go on down the list. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if the Kings end up with one of those kind of players from one of those power schools. But then you just never know.
Yeah, that's true. BG, one of the I see his name starting to pop up quite a bit as far as post Dylan Harper point guard and Jeremiah Fears is Jace Richardson. I've seen him play numerous times. I will say he's not my cup of tea. Tell me why I'm wrong and why he may be able to succeed in the NBA.
I think the accurate shooting, Jay, and along with just his feel for his age, he's a pup. He's 19 years old. This is Jason Richardson, the former Golden State Warrior. Everyone will remember this is one of his sons. And yeah, Jace is he's a left-handed guard. He's a little bit on the small side, 6'1" with a 6'6" wingspan. Averaged 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 1.9 assists at Michigan, but really shot it. 41% from three. 83% at the line. So, I think that's kind of where it's at. Good athlete, not the high flying dunker that his father was. And I'd probably, Jay, maybe with you a little bit on that. I'm probably a little bit lower on Jace. I think I have him 14th right now. And that's subject to change. All this could change in the next couple of weeks as I do
skinny.
stuff.
He's real thin too, right?
Yeah, he's only like
something.
Yeah, 185 pounds or something like that. But like I said, he's a kid, so a lot of these guys, you know how it is. You put on your man weight, you get to be 23 or 24 years old, and it's like, hey, where skinny meat go?
Yeah. If we're being honest, I remember when Chet came out, was that 22? I remember thinking, boy, if I was an NBA GM, I'd be really leery of that because he was so skinny. And obviously, it's worked out. Boy, you got to be careful. Bobby, we talked to Rafael Barlow this week. Yep. And he was telling us he's a member of the Yang Gang. Hanson, And I was like, me too. How about Bobby Gerald? Hanson Yang, what do you think?
Hanson Yang, we saw him in person last year at the California Classic. He was there doing his thing. I think he's interesting. He's another one of those guys, and we'll find out Sunday if he stays in the draft or not. But like a big 7'1" kid from China who can clearly play basketball, and it's tough for me to say. Right now, I have him early second round. I definitely see some of the promise with him. I also wonder a little bit about the state of our country right now. What is going to happen with some of these players that are from China or from South Sudan?
I got you.
It used to just be like a given that everything was going to be cool and they were going to be able to come and get visas and live here. And now, I wonder a little bit about that. I don't know if that would go into my thinking too much, but full disclosure, I will say that on all the international players on my website, I wait until after that deadline, which is coming up on Sunday, before I start digging into writing the actual capsules, because I've learned from the past, I'd write 20 capsules and 15 of the dudes would pull out of the draft, and I'd be like, man, that was a gigantic waste of time. So I write all the domestic stuff first, and then double back to the internationals.
You're smart like your daddy, aren't you?
Sharp.
We're working. I don't know if I'll ever get there. I mean, that guy.
Joined by BG, Bobby Gerald, owner, editor of Hoop Obsession, one of the best to do it from my point of view. The last guy ranked before the after party, 59. He's got a last name that everybody's paying attention to. Of course, coming out of Gonzaga, Ryan Nimhard.
Yeah.
I know Whitey's kind of where you at on him, Whitey? I know
I'm trying to stretch him out a little bit. See if I can get him just to add a little more inches like his brother.
I understand. BG, give me some insight on Mr. Nimhard.
So Ryan Nebhart, as the name would make you figure, he's a pure point guard. But as Whitey just said, the real issue is he's just not as big as his brother. Ryan is 5'11". With a 6'2" wingspan, 175 pounds. Defensive rating was 3 points worse than the Gonzaga team defensive rating, which is troublesome to me. So he did do really well though as a team player in college. I think he's maybe just a little bit small. I think he has a chance to be a backup point guard in the NBA. I probably personally would let someone else take a chance on it, just because I like to start with guys who can play defense. And, and it's not like, when you say that, it's not like guys don't try to play defense. It's just the NBA is really tough. It's a land of freaks and giants and dudes with incredible wingspans. And so sometimes,
Bobby, pardon me, but that's a great point, because, you hear it's kind of a cliche. Well, defense is just attitude and effort. And at the NBA level, it's not. There are guys that try with every ounce of their existence to be good defenders. And sometimes if you don't have the strength, the speed, you just can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the inches matter. Every little inch matters in this league. And so that's part of my thing with the Domas thing. I do deep dives I looked at all the winning teams. If you have a winning record in the NBA, and then I looked at rotational players, say maybe your top 8 or 9, and looked at the wingspans of everybody on those teams. And what I found out was that Domas's wingspan is about the same size as the average small forward on a winning basketball team.
Wow.
So he's not even really in the pool with the fours, and we're asking him to play with the fives and try to be the stopper. And so I just think, at some point you got to look at that. One other thing before I get out of here, guys, and just because I did some research on this, there's a lot of fatalistic talk about the Kings, right? I mean, there's a lot of people who think we're in deep trouble. And so I went back and looked today, after Fox, with Sabonis and Monk on the floor together, because they both missed time, the Kings were 12-8. 12-8 in 20 games. Small sample size. That's Doug Christie, the coach, both Monk and Sabonis on the floor, playing in the game, not injured, and without Fox. 12-8 is a 600 winning percentage. That's 49 wins, which would have tied you for sixth with Minnesota. So I get it. Injuries are part of the game. It's something that every team has to deal with, and you would hope that your depth is good enough to help you sustain, those times when you're playing without Sabonis and without Monk. But had you had Sabonis and Monk, and you could keep up that kind of a winning percentage, if you could win 60% of your games, that's not a bad team at all to start with. Yeah. It's really, it's really not nearly as bad as I think the talk is around town. Like people think that, the Kings are a super stinker or something like that.
Game them up, Bobby. Uplift these boys and gals, man. Go ahead, BG. I see where you're going, baby.
What was that term? Super stinker?
Super stinky, whatever it is, right? I hear a lot of talk like, and I'm not saying that they're the perfect team or ready to win a championship or something like that. I just don't think they're as far away as people may think that they are.
Gotcha.
Real fast, because
he got to go.
Man. No, he ain't got to go. He got 2 more minutes for his boy real fast. BG, what's your new piece of music we rocking right now? What's something new you've gotten your hands on or you're liking, something that's been released, or maybe it's a little flashback, something that you got your hands upon that you're digging right now?
Okay. It's a group called Back to Basics, and they did a cover of Michael Jackson's Do You Remember? So it's called Do You Remember by Back to Basics, B2B. And they have Dave Hollister singing the lead vocals on it. And it just brings back some good memories, some good vibes, really funky at the end. One of my friends, Eddie M., is a saxophone player who used to play with Sheila E. and Prince. And so he's on this. John Paris, the drummer from Earth, Wind & Fire, is that's basically B2B, is Eddie M. and John Paris. These two dudes are super musicians. They team up with Dave Hollister, do a Michael Jackson cover. It's called Do You Remember? So everybody check that out for sure.
Gotta go check that out. Dave Hollister out in the Bay Area,
yeah,
Brentwood area.
Yeah,
Dave is a good dude.
That's
hey
right.
Guys, can I take one more second of your time here, real quick?
Yeah,
you all right with that, Whitey? Okay.
Yeah, of course. I just thought you had said earlier before I get out of here. I thought maybe you had to go.
No.
Yeah, we're good.
I thought you guys were.
Yeah, we're good.
We're up against. Okay. I want to give just a family special shout out to Dr. Matt Campbell. He used to be the Kings team dentist. A lot of people in Sacramento know him. He had been around the community, did a lot of great things in the community. Anyway, they're having a celebration of life for Matt tonight. He passed away a couple of months ago near the end of the Kings season. Just wanted to let his wife, Irene, know, and everybody out there that was friends with Dr. Campbell that were thinking about him, and that they hope they all have a great time tonight at this function. Matt was a special dude, man. He was with the Kings for a long time, really good friends with Reggie Theus and, some of the old school people, and one of my dad's best friends. So he's kind of like an uncle figure in my life, and just a special dude. I know there are a lot of people out there, not all of you are going to know who Matt Campbell is, but if you did, or if he happened to be your dentist, that what a good dude he was. One of those guys where you could go in for a checkup and he's still going to call you at 6 p.m. and say, hey, everything okay? Did everything go okay during the day and all that kind of stuff. So just one of my favorite people, and wanted to send some love that way.
Thank you, Bobby. And if you get a chance, tell your father hello and wish him happy Father's Day for him.
Absolutely. And Jay, my condolences to you, brother, on your the loss of your friend. And And Whitey, hopefully the Kings are not over a barrel here for.
Nice.
And now I will be leaving you guys to go have a pheasant under
the glass.
Yeah.
Under the glass. Yeah.
Living large.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bobby. We
Salute.
appreciate that. Bobby
Love you
Gerald.
guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it. By the way, thanks to Tony Ray Harvey. He says Michael Marshall was a lead singer on Rumors, Timex Social Club. That is the guy that I think I met, and he laid down some tracks in this parody, and they felt sorry for me because I was sick or something, and I actually did the harmonies in a studio.
That a boy, man. We're putting it together today on a Friday.
Thank you, Tony. I believe it was Michael Marshall. He was the nicest guy. Yeah, he's very young.
Out to BG and Antonio Ray Harvey.
Yeah,
putting it all together for us, man.
All right, when we come back, thank you, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Unlike any other show, you see what we do?
Yes,
we make sure the rumors have been answered.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Does OKC have clutch issues? You know, the whole choke KC thing? I don't know. We'll look at that next on Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Fidium Fiber.
I'm meteorologist Heather Waldman at the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Cooling off nicely again Friday night. We'll start Saturday in the low 50s, afternoon highs in the mid 80s with light winds and high clouds. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA News and the KCRA app.
It's about time they
fixed that pothole.
Invented better windshield wipers.
made an internet that just works. Fidium Fiber Internet, starting at only $30 a month. It feels like Fidium. Offer available to residential customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See Fidium.com for details.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models.
Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
I had the chance to interview former professional golfer and broadcaster Gary McCord a few years back. He hadn't yet enraged the Green Jackets with his television comments about their revered Georgia golf course. He was welcoming and above all humorous, which is why I recently picked up a copy of his book, Golf for Dummies by Gary McCord, a man possessed by golf's magical allure. This 5th edition will help new golfers learn the basics of the game and bring them, as he writes, from the darkness to the light. The book discusses types of clubs, types of courses, how to hit the ball, and how to keep score. The intent is to help you get the ball to the hole in fewer tries and with better form. You'll even find some basic exercises to get you into golf shape. It's a fun read and will help you get over some of the game's intimidation while getting you ready to visit the golf course on your own or with some friends. I always recommend a good PGA professional to guide you along the way, but Golf for Dummies is a fun way to approach a fun game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hot summer savings explode at Maida's Elk Grove Chevy. Save $12,000 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado half-ton LT and RST in stock.
Maida Chevy has similar savings on every new Silverado. One of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
$12,000 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Best rating 2011 renewed. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the NBA Finals.
In the NBA Finals, any moment can become unforgettable.
Oh, blocked by James!
Now is your chance to watch the next moment you'll remember forever.
Jordan, open! Chicago with the lead!
Unforgettable awaits.
Anything's possible!
The 2025 NBA Finals presented by YouTube TV continue on ABC.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Thanks for being with us. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Sly Stone. Friday with the Drive Guys, getting ready for the big Father's Day weekend on Sacktown Sports. Real quick, I was just talking to Jay, preparing the rest of the show, and he has a game on in there, the Yankees and the Red Sox. Jay, I hate to be that guy, but the Red Sox wearing their City Connect, and they're like the green monster, and they're wearing green and gold, and it's like, no, come on, you're the Red Sox, right? And you look like a watered-down version of the Las Vegas A's of West Sacramento.
It's despicable.
It is. It is.
I'm with you.
Mm-hmm. There used to be something sacred about it. Teams, colors, your school colors, and teams of Major League Baseball. Again, I guess it's You got to sell more. You got to sell the alternative caps and jerseys. Okay. But they just look like, it kind of looks like the A's. You know, it's the Red Sox.
And they're rocking green.
You got to have at least some Red Sox or something.
Something red on.
Yeah. Is that an old man thing or is that?
Nah, I think there's some traditionalists around here who fit the bill that's younger than the age of 21 or so. We're in an era where everything is accepted in sports for whatever reason. No, people. There's so many people like, no, that's okay. That's okay. When it's really not.
That's why one of my favorite players is Chris Sale. Chris Sale, when he was with the White Sox.
Okay.
And you know this, the starting pitcher typically picks what jerseys his team wears the night he pitches. It's a tradition.
Yeah.
Well, they had a special deal where they're supposed to wear the throwbacks when he was with the White Sox, as I said. And it was when they had the ones that hung out, they don't tuck in, and they're kind of like old style with like a collar.
Oh, yeah,
and Chris Sale
yeah.
said, I'm not wearing those.
Joe's.
Like, well, you got to. So he just got a pair of scissors and he just sliced it all up. Yeah, I'm not wearing it. I can't wear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, he got fined or whatever, but good for him. You can't make me wear it. Yeah. That away.
Why do you just want everybody to wear the same color all the time for 300 years straight?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily. The colors, okay, maybe the same colors. You can mix it up like the Kings wearing purple, wearing black, wearing white. All right. You wear that gray. A lot of people don't like the gray so much. I kind of like those.
I do too. I like the gray.
Yeah.
I'm good with the gray.
Team colors. Team colors. They used to mean something, Jay.
So you want the traditional color, the main color, I should say, and then maybe the two alternate colors or two or three alternate colors. That's okay. But when you're the Red Sox and you're wearing green or
gold,
the Lakers and you're wearing orange, you're not feeling that.
I'm not. To me, you've crossed the line, but apparently I'm the only one because they still do it.
Oh, they definitely do. As you said, it's for money.
Yeah. Before we get back to basketball, since we're talking about baseball here, Jay, I don't know if you saw this. We talked about earlier this week, a couple days ago, The Athletic had a poll. They asked Major League Baseball players a couple questions. We always talk about this when they do it in the NBA. And so here's one of the questions for major leaguers. 135 responded to this question. Which baseball player do other major leaguers like to watch the most? Who do you like to watch the most?
Ooh.
You as a baseball player.
Okay.
You have any guesses?
Yeah, I'm going to say Shohei's number one.
Number one by far.
Yeah.
By far.
Okay.
135 respondents. He got 29 votes. That may not sound like a lot, but it was more than twice second place.
I'm going to say number two, it's either Acuna Jr.
He's third. Very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ellie De La Cruz.
He's fourth.
Okay.
Very good.
Soto.
Soto he's not in the top six, but you've done, let me tell you the rest because you've done really well there. He's on the list, but he only got like 3 votes.
All right.
So with 5 votes, which I think is tied for
third,
6th, Aaron Judge and Francisco Lindor.
I was going Aaron Judge was my next.
Yeah.
Was going to be my last one.
With 7 votes, so that'd be 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Mookie Betts.
I thought about him.
Yes.
Okay.
The more I watch him, like we were just watching a couple days ago, he had a diving stop at short.
Right.
It's like, man,
I didn't think other players were mesmerized by Mookie. I thought it was kind of more for us. Yeah. Okay.
9 for De La Cruz, 10 for Acuna, 14 for Bobby Witt Jr.
Really?
Yes.
You know, I had an opportunity to see him play last weekend. Didn't do nothing, but yeah.
Other players like to watch him.
Bobby Witt Jr.?
Yes.
Yeah, I would have never guessed.
And then Ohtani, 29 votes. One player anonymously said, he literally does everything. He might be the best baseball player ever. He probably is.
Well, that's digging a little deep as of right now, but I understand his trajectory is very high.
Yeah.
You know, Shohei, as much as he does it all, does this sound bad if I say, is he athletic?
Yeah, he's very fast.
Is he? Okay.
And he's a pitcher.
Right. Well, no, hold on now. You're talking about he's a pitcher. He's falling down the list.
Jay is always at odds with stuff my mom told me. My mom told me once athletes are the best pitchers.
No, Mrs. Gleason, I got all the love and respect for you. But
Rest in peace, Mom. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm standing up for you, Mom.
Yeah, it's Father's Day weekend. Give me something that Mr. Gleason told you.
We were at a game once. I think it was like the Angels and the Indians, and it's a late innings.
Okay.
And Indians, they were called the Indians then.
Sure.
Cleveland needed a pinch runner, and I think like Dennis Eckersley or somebody comes in to pinch run. I'm like, Mom, why is a pitcher coming in to pinch run? My mom said, pitchers are often the best athletes.
Yeah, times have changed. Times have changed.
So you'll give her that at the time she said it, maybe.
No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no.
Jay has never agreed with anything.
No,
I've ever
that
told
is
my
not
mom ever
true.
said.
That is not true. There's just been a few things. Mom was a Dodger fan, right?
She was.
See, I knew it.
Dyed in the wool Dodger
I knew
fan.
it. In the wool.
Big time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's solid right
Yeah,
there.
from like way back.
Yeah, that's solid right there.
Mhm.
Pitchers aren't the best athletes in this former version. I think and I get where Moms is coming from, because we're all pitchers at a certain age.
Yeah.
And then we all
so.
play other positions. Yeah, Little League, right? In Little League, you play everything. And if you're a pitcher, when people start to realize that you are a good pitcher, you start to hone in on that. That kind of becomes your craft, and the higher you get. But the other part of that is once you get to a higher level, pitchers stop doing everything. And so I'm not sure about it. I'd like to see it, but I just don't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Shohei is athletic. I mean, he's strong and he runs. He's really fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No
And he
problem.
throws.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking you. I believe in what you're saying,
Mhm.
because you are a apple of the tree of Mrs. Gleason.
You can't make up with her now.
I apologize.
That's all right. Yeah, and then he's supposed to be pitching soon. I know we talked to one of their announcers
Tim
today.
Everett.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he said, yeah, he's supposed to be throwing soon. So that's all they need. It's all the Dodgers need.
They don't need anything at this point. They've got Kershaw back. They are high powered.
Mm-hmm.
They literally they can move Mookie Betts from the outfield, right field to shortstop, and you still get the same type quality play.
They've really
That's
thus
messed up, man.
far this year, they've been kind of for them. They're in first place.
Right. Yeah. They're kind of sleepwalking.
Yeah.
But as you said, they're in first place.
Uh-huh.
They're in a battle between your Padres and, of course, the Giants. What Padres 2 behind, 3 behind? Where they at?
I think the Padres are 2 right now, and then the Giants are 1.
Yeah. So it's a two-game lap right now for the Padres, but the Dodgers will turn it on as All-Star break comes. It's kind of like we talk about in the NBA. You get to All-Star break, and then you see the teams kind of really take off, hit the gas, hit the nitro.
Mhm.
I think you'll start to see the Dodgers do the same as they get ready for postseason.
Well, a big part of that
Hopefully
now
they
in
don't make
baseball is what you do at the deadline.
Sure.
Billy Beane with the A's, when he was running the A's in Oakland, he would put a team together that he hoped was pretty good. He'd hope that team could get to the trade deadline, which used to be earlier, in good shape. And then he'd decide, are we in on this season? Do we go get somebody? Or do we just say, because everything can change at the deadline. The Dodgers have the wherewithal. They can go out and get some players. So it's almost like, for a really good team, sometimes the second half of the season, it's almost like a different team, because they get through the first half and then they add. And some teams just try to get to that trade deadline, and then they decide, do we need to get more guys? Like San Diego probably is going to have to get more guys if they're going to stay up there. We'll see what the Giants do.
Yeah, I think both of them have to make a move, just because when you're looking forward at the Dodgers, they don't need to make a move.
Right.
I think if anything,
but they probably will anyway.
I was going to say they'll
Yeah.
probably trim around the edges, and I do think they'll go get a little more bullpen help. The Dodgers as well. And I know Tanner Scott's their closer. Maybe they
He's been okay this
yeah,
year.
I was gonna say maybe they look at something
Mhm.
there, a bigger name or someone that's a little more quality or someone you can believe in a little more. But
Mhm.
I mean, they don't really need anything else.
Right.
They are spoiled of riches.
Because they're getting their starting pitching back.
Gosh.
Yeah. Also tonight, of course, we got the Giants and the Dodgers, and we got the NBA Finals. Is it possible, Jay, that the Oklahoma City Thunder, as good as they've been, as many games as they won this year, where they win 64 games, do they have issues when it comes to clutch time? During the regular season in clutch games is within 5 points inside of 5 minutes. They were 16-8 in clutch games, which is not bad. That's a .667 winning percentage, but they were .829 overall. So in clutch games, they were not as good. They also had the fewest clutch games in the NBA. In the playoffs in clutch games, OKC is 5-4. And it does look like when the game's on the line, close game in the final minutes, the Pacers seem to rise to the occasion. And OKC so far looks like they're not exactly sure how to handle it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there are a few players on OKC that still have the question out on them. J-Dub, Jalen Williams, has balled all season, all-star, earning his money. But he looked a little shaky, as you said, in those clutch minutes. Chet Holmgren looks a little shaky in those clutch minutes. SGA is doing his thing. Hardenstein. There's some guys who look like they know what they're doing and they feel like they know what they're doing. But there's a few people around the edges when it comes to OKC. It's like, Like Chet, I don't know what Chet is trying to figure out. And you can see him sometimes shoot it, don't shoot it. And I think the hesitation has been quite alarming a few games during the finals. And J-Dub looks like he's forcing certain things a lot when it comes down to crunch time minutes too. So I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah. To my eye, they get out and they run and they force turnovers and they get in the open court and they're knocking down shots. And then it gets to 5-minute game or closer within the last few minutes. And they're like, oh, Shea, give it to Shea.
Give it to SGA.
Hang on. Everybody stay where you are. See what Shea's going to do. And hopefully we'll win this game. And they don't. And I think even their coach, I think he's not at his best. And, Rick Carlisle's a great coach.
He is.
So it's not shameful to say so-and-so got out-coached by him. But I think that's something that OKC has to figure out. Of course, they're going to say, look, if we play our game and get out and run, they're not going to be close games. We don't have to worry about it. But they're probably going to have to take care of their issues down the stretch of close games if they're going to win the series.
Well, this is the one thing about basketball, and I think this is what makes the conversations when people compare Jordan and LeBron, and I'm not trying to have that comparison.
Jay always takes it back to that.
Yeah, I ain't trying to do that. People who support Jordan always say when the going was getting tough, LeBron doesn't even hold a candle to him. And I say that in the form of this. The NBA, to me, more than any sport, one person can take over a game and win a game. And that's where OKC still has the luxury of SGA. I truly think he can, put the squad on his back. Hopefully everybody, someone can make a play here and there, but he's been pretty close to putting them on the back, even in crunch time. He needs some help, no doubt about it. But I do think that's the one caveat that allows OKC to, as much as they might panic, we got SGA. And I think that's what you're saying. It's like, all right, let's see what he's going to do. Okay, great pass. Now just hit the shot. I think he keeps them in the game at all points in times. And that's why I'm not willing to say this series, they're in trouble yet. Now, we'll talk about it come Monday. You won't, because you'll have your feet up on the beach.
I'll be talking about it, but you won't hear me.
Absolutely. Please don't even talk about it. Yeah. And guess what? When it starts over there, this is the great thing about Hawaii, because there's nowhere else, maybe Alaska, but nowhere else in the continental United States that we're in front of time-wise. And so when you go to Hawaii, it's spectacular. Because when I go, I don't know about you, Whitey, when I go to the East Coast, I'm a night person. I'm not a morning person. I get up here 9 o'clock-ish, unless I'm taking my daughter to school or something. It's summertime. I get up 9 o'clock. To some people, that's like, man, you slept in the 1. Man, if you're not up by 6:30 with your newspaper and your coffee, you're super late. You see where I'm going. I'm putting tidbits in.
Yes.
But if people believe if you wake up 9 o'clock, the whole day has went by. When I'm on the East Coast, I wake up at 9. It's 1 almost. Now the whole day, the half of the day has already went by. In Hawaii, you wake up, it's like, damn, it's 6. I'm up. Yes, I got the whole day. I love Hawaii in that form that we're time-wise we're in front of.
We were there last year. You get up and, you get up like normal time. Oh, I'm ready to go. Oh, the sun's coming up. Let's go look at the sunrise.
5:58.
Yeah. How you doing? Good. How are you? You sleep good? Yeah. Let's go see the sunrise. You know?
It's like 5:26.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I was like, man, my wife was bouncing up. I'm like, babe, do you see what time it is? It's like, oh yeah, the sun is coming. I'm like, baby, it's 5:30. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Man,
But it's so beautiful.
I'll roll right over. Go get your coffee. I don't drink coffee, so I wake up natural.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't drink anything?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
No coffee at all.
There's a basketball term that I think should be used more. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with this. I just learned about it not too long ago. I think it's a great term that we need to use more, and I think it could come in handy when we're looking at these finals. Now, these finals, one thing that's interesting so far, it is not just coming down to who's making the threes. Indiana, they had a last game. They were terrible from the three-point line. They still won the game. It's coming down more to possessions, efficient possessions, and getting stops. And I don't know if you've heard this term, Jay. I've not been familiar with it for very long. But when you get in basketball 3 stops in a row, our team gets 3 stops in a row. It's called a kill. Have you ever heard that?
I have not.
Yeah. Or, I think one reason it's not used more is because, that's not nice.
Right.
Okay. Bowling, if you get 3 strikes in a row, it's called a turkey. So I think some places they call it a turkey. But that's really, if I were coaching again, I'm going to be all over that. Because it's a team thing. If we get 3 stops in a row, that really puts us in great position to win. If we can do that 3 or 4 times in a game, we're probably going to win. Because it's everybody, it's rather than you're guarding him and you're guarding her, and as long as your person doesn't score, you're good. No, it's like we are trying to get stops. Our team must stop them. And if we can do that 3 times in a row, we got to kill.
Man, where'd you get that from? It's inside information with NBA?
It's something that's been used,
Player?
I think. I don't know if it started with analytics. I'd like to ask Jerry if he ever heard of that. But I read that not too long ago, and I love it, Jay.
Yeah,
I
do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm with that.
Mm-hmm. And again, if kill is 2 in this day and age,
much.
Yeah. Turkey. It's not the same, but
Yeah,
it's
that's not
something.
to say it. Yeah, we need something in between there, Whitey. That turkey. That's not it. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. But I could see, analysts should talk about that. It's like, if they get to stop this time, that's a kill.
Bad job by Kyle Draper.
Yeah.
Where's Kyle when you need him?
Mm-hmm.
I will bring this up for him next week.
Okay.
And see if he knows that.
Yeah.
I had not heard that.
Don't tell him you got it from me.
No, I will not.
Because if you tell him you got it from me, he'll go,
Why did I know what he's talking about?
If you don't mention me, he'll go, it's great, Jay.
Yeah. All right, I won't.
And I've also read, I hadn't heard this before, a 10-0 run is called a kill shot. Now, that might be a little, but I've heard of that. It just definitely makes the point.
Yeah, our situation throughout the world right now is tough. But yeah.
I mean, you can't call it a turkey shot.
Nah, that's terrible. And whoever bowling needs to they gotta come to the 20th century.
Right. Right. Yeah. But you like that? I like that a lot.
I do like that. I'm with that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we need a few of them around here.
Yes.
Dang.
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, the Kings had 4 turkeys last night. That's 4 kills.
Count how many turkeys?
Yeah.
We should do that.
Yeah.
We should start doing that this season.
My understanding is if you can get like 6 of those in a game, it's hard to do at the NBA level, I know. But if you can get 3 stops in a row, like 6 times in a game, you're probably going to win the game.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. 18 possessions where they went cold, went bad. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Plus a few more turnovers.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. We're even if a team gives you 7 to 10, that's pretty much 30 opportunities.
I like that a lot. I'll have to do a little more digging to find out where that started, how common it is. But I want to make it more common. When we come back, Jay wants to talk about the Cowboys. So Dak wants a championship. We'll look at quarterbacks. Which quarterbacks need a championship the most right now? It's next with the Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy, and oh my goodness, I've I'm born and raised here. I know it gets hot, but my goodness, we're already seeing 100-degree days. Listen to me. You do not want your system to conk out in the middle of June or July or August with one of those big 100-degree stretches. You want to make sure you're good all summer long. And my friends at American Energy Heating and Air can do that with a $24.50 tune-up right now. That's half price. And if you need a new system, $3,500 off, up to $3,500 off in rebates for qualified systems. They've been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call them right now, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Here's a story of a guy named Whitey who had somebody's stray cat back in his yard. No, here's the story. Was over the winter, our heater actually went out like right after Christmas. And, you know, it was very cold, gets very cold here in the valley during the winter. And so we needed help. A lot of HVAC companies out there. A friend recommended we check out Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, leesair.com. And we made the call, and it was a good call. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating ready to come out the day that we called. Yeah, they offer same day, next day service. Treated us with a lot of respect. Person who answered the phone treated us with a ton of respect. The guys who installed our new HVAC unit. It's a great unit. So why choose Lee's? It comes down to this. They offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee, 4.8 stars on Google. They've won awards with their service. If I had an award to give them for their service, I would certainly give it to them because it was great. They've spent more than 40 years serving the Valley's HVAC heating and plumbing needs. You can trust Lee's with installation and repair of your AC, furnace, water heater, residential, commercial plumbing repair, commercial HVAC services too. Find out more at leesair.com. Check out their mission statement. It's all about serving customers and community. Check out their $99 HVAC tune-up service. Make sure you're ready for the heat. Let Lee's take care of you the way they took care of us, treating us like family while setting us up with an HVAC system that has improved our quality of life. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. License number 635355.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests, Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Are you thinking about buying a new car? Well, maybe you're on the fence. Let me help you out. Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the first time I stepped into the MP of Stockton showroom, I knew I made the right choice. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV. It's comfortable, stylish, and most importantly, it's safe. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. It's just a short drive down I-5 or anytime at mbfstockton.com.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
The music lives
Forever.
on. Getting ready for the NBA Finals, Game 4 tonight. One of the things that makes it so hard to root against OKC is Tyrese Halliburton when he says things like he said after last game, when he says, the talking heads, they say this stuff, and the narrative's going to be what it's going to be. But he says, how much do those guys know about basketball anyway? And I applaud him. And you had, was it Nick Wright? On Fox? Yeah.
Fox.
And, he and Stephen A., they hear that and they know that on some level, Tyrese is talking about them.
Sure.
So it's like, blood in the water for a shark. They recognize, they got to talk about that. And they go back at him. They got they get some material out of that. But I just really appreciate that when he says that. It's like, how much do those guys really know about basketball anyway? Yes, that's a great question.
Yeah, it is. But I will say Stephen A. hooped in college, right? So Nick Wright, Nick, come on, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. Yeah, Chris Haynes. Next time we get Chris on, friend of the show, Chris did an all media league during an All-Star break. Remember that? That was about 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
And he invited all the NBA, media analysts to play in this tournament. And I don't remember how many teams. I have to look it up, but I'm gonna say there's about 5-6 teams that participated of people like ourselves in the hoop competition. And man, there were people, you never even dribbled a ball. And you got the nerve to talk. And I'm not the type of person that says a coach or an analyst or a reporter or, play-by-play, whoever you want to call it. If you can, sometimes people can watch a sport and be able to teach it, but can't play it.
Right.
So I'm with that. But there has to be something to it to where you have to be, athletic in some form. You have to be playing badminton, lacrosse, ping pong, whatever.
Would pickleball count?
Yes.
Okay.
At this point, there's certain people. It's like you didn't play Little League. I know you, and if you did, you sat the bench in Little League, which that's a no. You can't do that. I'm sorry. And let me say this: if your child is 7 years old right now, and they're sitting the bench in Little League, it might be time to change sports. For real though.
Well, but unless the child loves it.
Well, okay.
Right? Because you're supposed to have fun. That's the main thing.
I get that. But what I'm saying to you is, if you're not playing at all in a sport, I just said Little League, in youth sports, either put some more time in it or maybe try something different. I wasn't good in everything, right? we're not all great in everything. And that's what makes us special. So find what makes you special and then flourish in that. But you can't tell me you haven't seen this. You've coached too before. You haven't seen parents force their children to participate in something where they're not having fun and they're sitting the bench.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
There's really no winner there.
Yes.
And you understand it. You know, the parents think like this will be good for them. And you coach them and it's like, clearly it's not good for them,
they're not having fun.
Yeah.
They don't want to be there.
Yeah.
I've been in plenty games where it's like, they don't want to be here. And that's why they're sitting here. That's where I'm going. Try some things that they may like or love and then watch them flourish. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be sports. It could be something else.
That's true.
Come
Good
on.
to try a lot of different things.
Please, DJ. I mean, there's so many things in the world that people are great at that I would have no chance in doing. And that's what makes us all special. And so that's my point is stop doing that. Stop forcing these kids, these children to do stuff that don't. Now, with the understanding that we all want to be active, we want to all make sure that that heart rate is moving and things like that. But there's other avenues to achieve that. Like, come on, though. Seriously, though. Maybe I'm just more cold-blooded. I don't know, Whitey. You can't be
You have
70.
high standards, but you know, some young players in youth sports are like, I'm not going to be very good, but I just want to be part of a team. You know, I guess I understand your point.
Said no kid ever. Said no kid ever.
If the child doesn't really enjoy it and they don't want to be there and they're not getting anything out of it, it's probably
children like to participate. Children like to make friends for the most part. Everyone's different. There's exceptions to the rules. I never was around children. I've never met a child that said, I want to participate and I want to be around this and don't get an opportunity to participate. Like, no, you want to participate, correct? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm cold blood with it then, Whitey.
I was probably about 12 or something. We're in the softball tournament. Part of this playground on Vallejo. The playground, different playgrounds during the summer, they would host things and kids could go there and hang out during the day. And so then they had a softball tournament for all the different schools. And so we're playing in this tournament and we didn't have enough guys. So they gave us this kid. I don't remember his name, but he wasn't really into it. And one of my friends on the team, who's very prominent in Vallejo, I won't say his name. Sure. There's nothing shameful, but I just won't say his name. Really competitive. So we're playing in the tournament. We're doing pretty well. And I kid you not, the officials are coming over and they're like asking me, how old are you? 12. Where's your birth certificate? They didn't believe because I had a good tournament, Jay.
Yeah, that boy
was
balling.
I was
doing your thing.
Good power weekend. But anyways,
boy.
They didn't throw me out or anything, but I was a legal player. But there's this key play at the plate. And for some reason, the kid that was our add-on, he was the catcher. And I think he couldn't make the play because he was drawing a face in the dirt. And my friend on the team, I thought he was going to kill him.
See, that's the thing. You don't want to be there. That's part of, and the full circle is, this is the full circle. And that's a great example. Most children who don't play on youth sports is because they don't want to be there. They don't want to participate. We all get opportunity in youth sports, right? To play.
Yeah.
To showcase your talents, even if whatever talent that may be in.
Yeah.
And that's the point. It all goes back to, hey, man, if you don't want to be there, stop. I've seen it too many times. Stop wasting your time, effort, and money on something that you may want your children to do.
Yeah.
And allow them to, look, I'm not telling anybody to parent, but I'm also saying spread the love. Just because you want them to play baseball don't mean they want to play baseball.
I'm wondering, I don't remember what I was
Go try
playing.
something else, please. Swimming.
The first baseman probably should have covered home there, huh? On a key play, we probably shouldn't have the kid
Well,
who's
just
drawing
depends
faces.
how to play. Yeah. Or the pitcher,
somebody's
third
gotta
baseman,
cover.
somebody
Yeah.
is. Somebody should have ran.
It. Yeah.
Dang. Bad job, man.
Oh, well.
Was he with his finger or with a stick?
As I recall it, a little fuzzy on some of the details, to be honest. But yeah, I think it was with his finger. Maybe it was on, home plate. Home plate gets dusty.
Yeah, for sure. finger puppets.
But my friend was not happy.
Oh man,
he's very competitive, and we had a decent team in that tournament.
There's people right now listening. Like, forget you, Jay. Guaranteed. I guess I'm that person who, as you talk about prominent, the person that's prominent, I probably too.
Well,
yeah, I'm just competitive.
Yeah. When you are, that's
want to win, man.
Yeah, you're playing a game. We're keeping score, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's jacks, hopscotch.
Real quick here, I know. Yeah. Yes. If you're gonna keep score, you might as well try to win. Dak Prescott says he wants a championship, Jay, and he says, I don't care about my legacy. That'll take care of itself.
Yeah.
But I want to win a championship. What quarterbacks do you think, just off the top of your head, we got the Wayback Machine quiz coming up, who needs for their legacy? Who needs a championship the most? I think Brock Purdy needs one at some point, but he's got time. Dak probably needs one. You're the quarterback of the Cowboys. Aaron Rodgers could use another one, as we discussed.
Meaning this upcoming season?
As soon as possible.
As soon as possible.
For their legacies.
Ooh,
yeah.
As soon as possible.
Lamar could use one.
Lamar popped in my mind. I would say because Lamar, Josh Allen,
your boy Joe Burrow.
Your guy down there in LA, Chargers.
Yep.
I would say Aaron Rodgers, then Dak Prescott.
Aaron, number one, huh?
Yeah, because he's at the end of his career.
Yeah.
And, Sean King, who we had on, he's like, listen, he's only playing to win at this point. He's not playing for anything else. Steelers had a good season last year. They have some weapons. They added some people. I think Aaron Rodgers is number one just because he's closer to the checker flag. I would say beyond that, Dak Prescott is pretty close. He's the Cowboys quarterback.
Right.
You had Drew Pearson on last week talking about that. For me, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are right there. They're pretty close. Someone, and Joe Burrow, someone's got to be Pat Mahomes. Enough is enough. It's time for somebody to get him out of there one of these years. So I think one of those three have to be pretty close.
You don't want to end up being John Stockton and Karl Malone to Michael.
No, you don't.
Right?
You don't want that.
Yeah.
All
right. We'll
Sean
have
Kemp, GP.
Yeah. Camps are opening next week.
Clyde Drexler. There's a bunch
Next
of people
month,
who say
next
that. Pat
month,
Ewing,
Uh-huh.
Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Barkley.
Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz for June 13th is coming up next on Sacktown Sports.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metal woods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
Hot summer savings explode at Maida's Elk Grove Chevy. Save $12,000 off MSRP after rebates. Every new 2025 Silverado half-ton LT and RST in stock.
Maida Chevy has similar savings on every new Silverado. One of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
$12,000 off new Silverado exclusively at the Maida Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Just trading 2011 renewal. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. You know summer is pretty much here, and Father's Day is right around the corner. One way to get dad fired up for Father's Day, trust me, I know, stop into Amy's Outdoor Living and see their ultimate lineup of barbecue grills. We're talking Weber gas grills starting at just $3.99. Traeger Woodridge pellet grills starting at $7.99. That's a great price. Rectech begins at just $5.99. Plus, think about this. Amy's has free setup and delivery. The Gosney pizza ovens, I got one of those, starts at $3.99. Nothing like being out back with your family, making a homemade pizza. Find great gifts for dad like Yeti coolers and comfy hammocks. Amy will pay the sales tax on all in-stock furniture. Family owned and operated, Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt, where I used to go as a kid with my dad, and also brand new in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. Tell me your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent ya.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Skeeter here. Got a question. What's small and dark with white bands on its legs and bites during the day?
Mosquitoes. Hi, I'm Luz Maria Robles, but these are two new types of day-biting mosquitoes. They're invading our area and becoming a big problem.
And they can be dangerous.
But we're on it, so when you see them, report it at fightthebite.net. In the meantime, use insect repellent and drain stagnant water around your yard.
We're here to help with these day-biting mosquitoes.
Visit us at fightthebite.net.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings Talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Before we get any further, I just want to thank Jay again for hanging out today. You know, he's got some heavy stuff going on, lost a friend. He comes in. Not only comes in, does a great job, has a good time, but he's touched some people today with his comments on Little League and sleeping in. A lot of people like, yes, yes, yes.
Sleep in out there. Don't let people tell you 9 a.m. is sleeping in.
Yeah, I've learned I got to be careful about when I send Jay texts, because in the morning, Drapes and Jay and I, we exchange texts on things, see this, see that. So I'll try to be mindful of that, Jay.
Oh, man, no, you're good anytime, brother. You can send me a text anytime you want to, man. Just know, 6:58, I'm probably not up.
Right, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Unless I'm waking my daughter up. This is how bad it is. I wake my daughter up to go to school, and then I go lay back down for 30, 45 minutes. And I'm like, all right, come on, let's take you to school. That's just me, man. I'm a night person.
Are you using your machine at all?
I am.
Are you?
I do. Yeah.
I
probably need to do it a little more.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things I like about it, the one I have, is it'll tell you when you wake up how long you've been.
It's knocked out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 hours. I'm going back to sleep.
I still got time.
Yes, yes. Right now it's time for Whitey's Wayback Machine Quiz for June the 13th. We have no Kyle Draper today. So, Jay, we're bringing in an opponent for you, and he's a good one. I don't know if you've gone head-to-head against him. I'm not sure. He's on a hot streak. Ramsey, how are you, Ramsey?
I'm good. Yeah, Jay and I have played each other once before, I believe.
Uh-huh. Do you remember how that went?
Yeah, I tipped my hat. He got the win.
Ooh.
This was early in my Wayback Machine quiz experiences. But I've honed my skills, and then I'm looking for a great matchup. That's all we can ask for.
Well, listen, Ramsey, I don't know how things are going to go, but we appreciate you checking in. I know you got stuff to do. It's Friday night, so thanks for helping us out today.
No problem at all. Let's go.
Yeah. Jay, you're up first here since you have ownage on Ramsey. Here's what we have for you. 1973, 1989, 1993, 1997, 2012, and 2019. And let me just say, Ramsey, I know you're on the phone, so if there's something you don't hear and we got to go back, repeat something, that's okay. It's understandable. All right? So, yeah. So you're up first, Jay.
What was the first year?
1973.
That's where I'm going.
All right. It's multiple choice for you.
Okay.
What team this date, 1973, starts a 5-man infield that will stay together for 8.5 seasons? The Pirates, Reds, Dodgers.
Reds.
Reds is not correct.
Oh.
Over to Ramsey. Ramsey, this date, 1973. What team starts a 5-man infield that will stay together for 8.5 seasons? The Pirates or the Dodgers?
I'll go with the Pirates.
No, it's actually Ron Say, Bill Russell, Davey Lopes, and Steve Gardner. It's the Dodgers. No harm, no foul.
The big red machine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No points. Back over to Ramsey. 1989, 1993, 1997, 2012, 2019. Ramsey, what do you think?
2012.
2012, and it is a closest to. Would you like Jay to go first?
Yes, I'll defer.
Okay. I like the way you put that. Jay, this day, 2012. Big day for you because Matt Cain threw the first perfect game in Giants history.
Yeah.
He tied a record for most strikeouts in a perfect game. Tied a Sandy Koufax record. With how many? How many strikeouts in his perfect game? Tied for the most in a perfect game. Also had that, I think it's Gregor Blanco runs over and catches the ball, falls down. And, it was a diving catch. Yeah.
I'm going with, I think it was 16.
16? You good with that? Your answer?
Yes.
Okay. Ramsey, he says 16. What do you say? How many strikeouts did Matt Cain have on this day, 2012? Most strikeouts in a perfect game ever.
15.
The answer is 14.
Ah.
It was 14, and the point goes to Mr. Ramsey. And you're up, Jay.
Matt Cain was a strikeout pitcher.
1989, 1993, 1997, and 2019.
You said 89?
I did.
Yeah, let's go 89.
Multiple choice for you, Jay.
Danny Tartable.
This day, 1989, the Pistons win their first championship in history by sweeping the Lakers. What current NBA franchise has been around the longest without ever winning the NBA championship? Detroit won their first this date, 89. What current NBA franchise has been around the longest without ever winning the NBA championship? The Suns, the Hawks, the Jazz.
Just not counting.
When I say franchise, I'm talking
it
about.
It could be ABA, it could be anything.
Like Clippers would include the
Right,
Buffalo Braves. The Suns, the Hawks, or the Jazz. Been around the longest without ever winning an NBA championship.
Damn.
Ramsey with the 1-0 lead.
I'll go with the Jazz.
The Jazz is not correct.
Oh.
Ramsey, your chance for the 2-0 lead.
Damn.
What team has been around the longest without ever winning the NBA championship? The Suns or the Hawks?
The Hawks.
It's not it. It's a Phoenix Suns.
Damn, when the Suns come around.
1968.
I thought the Jazz
But
were.
I thought it was. So what does the St. Louis Hawks qualify as?
Yeah, the Hawks have won a championship. I think with I think Red Auerbach was the coach. Yes, so they won, but the Suns have never won a championship. Yeah. So Ramsey's still up 1-0, and Ramsey, you're up. 1993, 1997, 2019.
We'll go 1993, please.
1993 is another multiple choice. Ramsey, this date, 1993. The Suns beat the Bulls in Game 3 of the Finals, 129-121 triple overtime. Who played 59 minutes in the game without committing a foul? Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, or Dan Marley? It is a record for most minutes in the finals without a foul, by the way.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Thunder Dan.
He's got it.
Dang.
Dan Marley.
That was a full-on guess for me.
Yeah. And are we out of time, Jay, or do we keep going?
About a minute.
All right. You're down 2-0, so you got to get going, Jay. 1997, 2019.
97.
1997. The Bulls finish. It's the closest two.
All right. Let Ramsey go.
Ramsey, this date, 1997. Bulls finish off the Jazz to win the title in 6 games. How many games in the series did a team score 100 or more points in a game? That's the 1997 NBA Finals. How many times in the series did a team score 100 or more points in a game? Jazz and Bulls.
I'm going to say 2.
2?
1, because I'm going to say 0. 1.
The answer is 1.
Yeah.
And it was one time.
Right.
It was a Jazz. So it's 2-1.
It's the marbles right
here.
here.
Yeah, and this is it. So, Ramsey, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the closest 2. Do you want Jay to go first?
Yeah, we'll have Jay go first.
All right,
this time.
Jay, 2019, Kawhi Leonard named MVP. Raptors beat the Warriors 114-110, Game 6 for the first championship. Including Kawhi, how many players have been named Finals MVP with 2 different teams?
Oh, my God.
With 2 or more different teams, including Kawhi. How many players? It's a 2-1 game with Ramsey.
I'm trying to think. I don't have enough
Remote
time
Ramsey.
to think.
Yeah, I know we're up against the clock. Ramsey has it.
I'm going to say 4.
You're going to say 4, Ramsey?
I'll go 3.
Kawhi Leonard, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Wilt.
LeBron James. That's it.
It's 3.
It's 3. And Ramsey has the win. Going into Father's Day weekend. Way to go, Ramsey.
Happy Father's Day, man.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to both you gentlemen.
Thanks for
Much
helping us out.
appreciated.
Yep. Good
No
victory.
problem at all.
Yeah, stick around for
Thank
JR
you.
Sports Brief Show. It's next on Sacktown Sports. Have a great weekend.